how's it going? This is Adventures in Lollygagging. Sorry, Long just dropped like a massive like surprise bomb on us behind the scenes. He's going to Gen Con. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to Gen Con. That's fine. Steven, Melissa, and I, we've been working on plans for months, and Long's just like, yeah, I took care of everything like a couple days ago, and I'm going. So yeah, there's that. Okay. So anyhow, we're gonna be at Gen Con in a couple weeks, so we're very excited. So hello, we are playing Deltagreen tonight, as per usual, and we are continuing our What Lies We Tell campaign. We just started up. We're one session in the bag so far, and it's our. I'm sort of calling it sort of like a prologue in a way, as it's before they've actually been recruited into Deltagreen. That's the kind of idea here, is that none of them are really familiar with the fact that Deltagreen exists, that the unnatural. They've really not had any hard proof of it. They might have suspicions of it. They don't have any hard proof. Now they do. And this is sort of what opens the door for their recruitment into Deltagreen. That's the kind of the idea with this opening prologue. We're going to try to see if we can finish it tonight. That's the hope. And it was planned as a 2-episode like punch in your face. But if it goes longer, it's going to go longer. We'll see how it goes. But let's do a quick intro. Let's not go too crazy with it, because I don't want to get everyone excited about these characters too much, because some of them might not be making it out. So just give us a quick rundown of your character, just really fast. So Long, can you tell us about Luca?
Yes, he's a DEA agent from New Jersey. He's got a family pizzeria. He moved down to Florida because there's work here. He's getting involved with the Miami district, and now he's stuck here.
And what happens when he gets excited and upset? What does he say? Which is his catchphrase?
It's the Mamma Mia.
You're so ridiculous.
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia. Oh my gosh. Every time you do it, my mother's side of the family is like rolling over right now in their graves and in their beds. All right, next up, Melissa. Tell us about Sue-Ann.
Hey y'all, I am Sue-Ann Katie. I am a master diver in the U.S. Navy, stationed in Pensacola.
I just want everyone really give a lot of encouragement to Melissa, and I'm so very proud of her, if I can take a moment to say this, for really diving into some voices. Like this week we've seen her do...
She's been knocking it out of the park.
Right? She did like a German accent in our Mothership game on Monday, our one shot, and now she got this Southern one. This is great. Very excited. And then that voice that you just heard, that was Declan G.W. Ellis. Steven, tell us about Declan.
Yeah, I'm not doing a voice for Declan, but Declan Gordonwood Ellis is a renowned author and historian. If you're nice to him, he'll give you a signed copy of his book. And he has a pet beagle named Merlin, who is currently in danger.
Indeed. And if you're not part of our the Discord, Discord will pop up in the Twitch chat here and there. And if you catch this later on YouTube, look for the description. We have a wonderful Discord community we share with Defenders of Cobalt, Grim and Perilous as well. And like our three groups are on there. And one of Three-Eyed Cat, who you've seen some images before, dropped some artwork of Merlin and has developed the whole side story about Merlin. It's pretty fantastic. So you should go check it out. And then finally... And I do mean finally, we've got, no, I'm just teasing. We've got Megan Hayes. Ashley, tell us about Meg.
Meg is our nurse. She generally works in the ER department. She's in Florida for some sort of convention. I've learned she's not the most professional because she wears her scrubs everywhere, even probably when she shouldn't.
That's so bad.
They're comfortable. You've just figured out that it's comfortable and you don't have to think about it.
Well, I used to wear
much.
scrubs when I worked in the pharmacy, so I dig scrubs. They're nice.
But like, no matter way you look at it, if you wore the scrubs at work and now you're wearing it outside of work, that's very bad and not hygienic. And
what
if you're
she
wearing
just
the
has
scrubs
different
outside
scrubs?
of work and then wearing those scrubs to work, that's also not hygienic. So either way, Megan's a terrible nurse, and she's going to suffer for it. No,
that's okay.
She's going to suffer for other things.
She's in danger.
Yeah, a bit. Yep, a bit. All right. So we'll do a summary. I don't promise that it'll be quick. I want to make sure everyone's on the same page, and we'll dive in where we left off. So the date is December 2009. Some people were asking about this. December 4th specifically. The story begins in Hypoluxo, Florida, which is on the southeast coast of Florida, as Hurricane Maya. It is a fictional hurricane, so don't go looking it up. Hurricane Maya slowly rolled over that southeastern coast. And it was uncommonly late for hurricane season. Early December, it's not a time where we really see hurricanes. Many folks started scrambling and found their way to Rolling Green Elementary, which was being used as an emergency shelter. Maya made landfall in the late evening, and while events were transpiring as expected in the shelter for the first few hours, that all changed with the arrival of some stranded DE agents that Luca Dante was part of, and they were escorting a prisoner. Shelter volunteers, local law enforcement, they tried to help the DEA get like the prisoner in a private room away from everybody else. All that worked out just fine. And then one of the people in this shelter, in this cafeteria, this elementary school cafeteria, noticed something outside, and you all, and a couple of you saw this as well, as there's the sound of a woman calling for help, maybe. And when you looked outside, there was a body floating in the water near the playground for the elementary school. Sue Ann, you being a member of the U.S. Navy, you led a group outside to retrieve the woman. You tried to recruit Declan. That didn't work because Declan was too busy arguing with young children about whether or not they could play with his beloved dog, Merlin. And when he dies, I imagine Merlin will probably live on with those kids. Now, you retrieve the body, but something else was sort of swimming around in the floodwaters. Sue Ann, you nearly drowned. Something kind of tugged you under, but you were okay. I think it was Megan who might have saved you. Declan, at the very least, did open the back door for you to let you all bring this body of a very bloated woman. You think it was a Asian American woman. You couldn't, didn't really get any actual identification on her. But you brought her inside. You put her in the walk-in cooler while you still had power. And I think it was Megan who did kind of a cursory examination to some degree. And the one kind of thing that you were able to determine is that it felt like she was in the water for way longer than the rain that has been coming down for the hurricane, like weeks or months longer, not just a few hours or a day or two. So you were, while you were doing this, there's a bit of a commotion that started to transpire as our Karen, who that's not her actual name, she started trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Why are people hiding this stuff from us? And so people were trying to calm her down, but also Luca's partners got attacked by their prisoner and their prisoner escaped. Declan, you also noticed that your dog was gone. Poor Merlin was gone, and those pesky kids were probably responsible because they were missing too. And so people started fanning out, searching for some folks. Sue Ann's mother never came back from the bathroom, and she left. It was one of the first things we saw in the campaign when she went and gone to the bathroom and never came back. Started searching around. Declan, you got almost dragged out of a broken window by some sort of piece of seaweed or kelp or whatever that wrapped around your neck and tried to pull you inside. When you all were looking at the bathroom, you noticed that there was flooding coming out of the faucets. The faucets there's this viscous, dark floodwater fluid also coming up out of the toilets as well. You found Sue Ann's mother, but her face was all contorted. She was like attacked or something and seemed to be, she was alive. She had a heartbeat, a pulse, etc. But something was wrong with her face. It was just absolutely disgusting. As you all were kind of starting to spread out at that, or actually you were coming back from the bathroom, Megan, you were kind of dragging the body, being the nurse. You all saw a figure in the hallway, which had started to flood, by the way. It got up to your ankles or so with this water. It was another woman you had seen at some point during your time in the shelter, and she started kind of moving all glitchily down the hallway. And then she started moving a lot faster than any person really should. Her arms almost seeming to like extend and push the boundaries that the skin would allow. And she attacked you and started trying to at one point, vomit seawater and that fluid into Sue Ann's face. You guys got into a fight. Declan ran. He and the parent of one of the missing children and the older brother of the other missing child, you all ran deeper into the school. Luca and Sue, you started fighting this thing. Megan, you tried to drag Sue Ann's body back into the cafeteria like a hero. And then And then this thing just kept fighting and fighting. Luca, eventually you chased after Declan. Sue-Ann, you kept firing. And when Declan kind of rounded a corner, he looked down a hallway. He saw Merlin. He saw the two kids. They were like, for some reason, like on top of a desk that was pushed all the way at the end of this hallway that had been flooded with water up to his knees. As he took a step in that direction, kind of go get his dog, he got pulled under by something, and something wrapped around his legs. We also turned in to Megan, who, as she was bringing Sue-Ann's mom in, everyone was panicking. She noticed a shadow. The lights started to flicker and go out, power kind of coming in and coming out. There was only hurricane lights that were lanterns that were actually illuminating everything. And you saw that dead, bloated woman that you had dragged into the walk-in cooler had somehow animated, had left the kitchen, had come into the cafeteria, and had swollen and grown to be 4-5 feet taller than she had been before. And as we were watching her, the skin around her belly ripped open, and about 8 or 10 nasty black-green slick tentacles came flying out in all directions. So that was happening last time. So go ahead and get started for this new session. So let's go ahead and start it up pretty much exactly where we picked off. We're going to keep it in structured time because I feel like there's a lot of little things going on. So just to give you the reset, Sue, you are in the hallway by yourself, still fighting this woman. You just shot her in the face, and you saw like part of her head is exploded, but pouring out of it is this sludge, this soup.
Yep.
Luca, you just rounded the corner, chasing after Declan. You've got those two civilians to either side of you trying to go in different directions. One's trying to break into a classroom looking for her daughter. The other is trying to break outside into one of the annexes looking for his younger brother. And you see Declan get plunged down into the dark water in front of you. And you see down this long hallway, there are the kids and the dog kind of huddling, and they look frightened. The power is fluctuating. It's coming in, it's coming out. It's almost strobing to a certain point. And Megan, you are in the cafeteria as everyone is panicking. We're going to start at the top of the round, and we're also going to start with a sanity test for Megan. As Megan, you look up, you see this massive bloated woman and all of these tentacles. So go ahead and rip that sand test for us.
24 success, needed 99 or 79.
That is fantastic. I'm so glad you passed that. That means you don't take a ridiculous amount of sanity. Instead, you take a healthy amount of sanity loss because like this is one of those rolls where it's like passing.
I'm taking
is
some
still
regardless.
Bad.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's not. You don't want me to see Lolly when I roll that die.
No.
I rolled a Lolly on my
No.
D8.
That's okay. That's 8. Okay.
It would have been 20 if you failed. It's a D8.
I was like,
it's a D8 for a pass.
8 is more than 5.
Megan, you take 8 points of sanity loss. Now, if you want, you can try to, before we get into the potential temporary insanity, because at 5 losses it is, if you wanted to try to project this onto your bonds, you can do that if you like, because I think you still have willpower.
Yeah. So what? I'll push off 4.
Okay, well, actually, you first you need
to have to do all of it.
Yeah, so in order to do it, no, I mean, like, you're not going to be able to do it all, but when you want to project it, you can spend willpower to reduce
projecting it on
loss.
my boyfriend.
Roll a d4 first, because you might not be able to project as much as you think.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So you can only project a d4's worth.
3.
Which is 3. So that's still going to reduce it to 5, though. So you're not going to get out of the temporary insanity.
So I'm still going to have insanity. So then I'm just going to take the thing and keep my.
No, I think you got to take it once you.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that happening to me in Impossible Landscape. Like, you spent it and you still get it anyway, unfortunately, because it's a dice roll.
Reduce your willpower by 3 because it's equal to the amount that you just rolled.
Okay.
Reduce your sanity by 5.
Yep.
And you are also now suffering from temporary insanity, Megan. Now, temporary insanity is what happens when it's 5 or more points on a single sanity, or on a sanity on a single roll that just happened. You get the choice of fleeing, struggle, not a choice, but like we kind of work together to figure this out. Flee, struggle, or submit. Struggle does not really make sense, as this is from the unnatural. I think this is either going to be a flee or submit situation. So flee is just like you panic and run. Submit is just like that classic shock. So if I always think of like The Thing when Windows is staring as like one of his friends starts to turn into a thing, and he's just staring at it like dumbly, just amazed and in shock at it. So what do you think? Do we think Megan is a fleer? Do we think Megan is somebody who would suffer shock? What do we think?
I think she's a runner because she ran towards, saving someone, but
Okay.
now there's this supernatural horror, and I think her instinct would also be to run.
What's your con?
My constitution is 12, 60%.
Okay. So you're going to run for a number of turns equal to your con, or until it feels like you might be safe.
Okay.
And at that point, you might suffer some more willpower loss. Now, you're not running right this second. We're going to keep structured time, but you will start to run. And I've already rolled for everybody, all the civilians, and what they're doing. So whatever. Top of the round. You might not be able to get to run. That's the thing. Top of the round.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It is, and again, it's dex scores. The bloated woman goes first. She actually goes first in this round. So we're in this cafeteria. There's a couple dozen people, including Megan. Megan, you have Sue-Ann's body. You also, one of your other patients, Luca's one of Luca's partners. What was her name?
Sam.
Samantha. Yeah, Sam. She had like a concussion you were dealing with, Sue-Ann's her thing, but you are now panicking and fleeing, and like you are having like all logic and all heroism kind of is thrown out the window. So you also, all of us would notice that there are dozens of other people in here that are suffering mixtures of fleeing, shock, and some of them are just like falling to the ground and weeping, or doing like they're covering their heads like, it's not happening, it's not happening. Others are just kind of staring up at this. Others are vomiting on the ground. And about a dozen and a half, about 15 or so, stampede for the door. Which is not good. So you see them sloshing through the water, which is again about ankle to shin length, and they're pushing over each other like a wave as they're scrambling towards it. That's not her action. Her action instead is going to be to extend these tentacles out, and I'm going to see whether or not Megan is hit by one of these. So, Ashley, high or low?
Let's go high.
Okay. It's not really going well for you. It's a 2. So, okay.
No.
So 2 tentacles are going to go out. One of them, we'll see, is going to wrap around. Oh man, one of the shelter workers, Diego, man in his 30s. You can see he just looked, and he was in shock and staring, and it just wraps around him, and you can see it pulls, like the tentacles like pulling closer and closer. A second tentacle wraps around as it's pulling closer, and you see the skin on this body begins to tear in these other smaller portions, and these maws begin to open, and it starts to kind of open it up like it's pulling its head right into the maw. A second grouping of tentacles is like grabbing or slapping or knocking down different people. One of them, unfortunately, Megan, does manage to whip out in your direction. So you are going to take a shot here. This one's just going to be the attack as opposed to the grapple.
Okay.
It's still very hard for me to fail, unfortunately. Yeah, that's out of the box. It's a 14, so that'll be a success. Because you are unfortunately freaking the F out.
Yeah, there's no dodging that. Yeah,
you're probably like, well, you can't control your actions, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you wouldn't instinctively do things. So I would say if you wanted. No, I think you're just going to take the damage. I'm sorry. I think you're going to take the damage because you are turning and running for the door.
She's looking away from it. Yeah.
So you're exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking too. Okay, it's 3d6s. Okay, that's a 2, a 2, and a 6. That's 10 points of damage.
Yeah, I'm down.
Are you serious? How much health?
-1. I had because remember I got injured when we were bringing her in.
Oh my god, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So we watch as Megan, you and some of these other folks who are running for the door turn, and you're lunging for the door. You're like, some people are trying to open, or trying to push, some are trying to pull, and it's this moment of panic as this stampede's happening, and you're getting shoved, and everyone else is having the same issues that you are, and you kind of get pushed off, and this tentacle just kind of comes sweeping through. And it doesn't wrap around you so much as it just kind of lifts you and smashes you into the wall, and you fall down into the water. And we're going to cut out of the cafeteria as our POV character is no longer capable of doing so. It's capable of providing us that POV.
-1 health now.
I am so sorry, Ashley. Okay. I thought once you passed the sand, I thought you were going to be okay. I know. You all left her. Classic. Okay, next up in the order, we go outside that cafeteria where we see this blighted, disgusting, this woman who has clearly suffered some sort of transfiguration. We also notice as like half of her face is missing, and you can see like the sludge is coming down from it. She's going to continue to attack you, Sue-Ann, as the two of you have been fighting this whole time. I think that she's just going to go at you. Let's see.
Okay. Let's see
you are
if
not
we're going to be
grappled.
2 for 2 here.
You are not grappled.
I believe in you. I believe.
It's like, I was actually really shocked that's just the tentacle shot hit you, like killed you, like, knock you down. That sounds like, because there's like so much worse stuff she does.
I
just
told
like, oh
you,
shit.
She was not the combat character.
Oh my god. Okay. So this is going to be an attack. Are you going to fight back, or are you just going to let it or do anything, Sue-Ann?
I want to be able to shoot her next time, so I think I have.
Okay, you're going to let it go through? Okay.
That may be a poor choice.
No, it's fine. I need a 65 or under for her. That is a 13. I'm counting down.
Your dice rolling is better this episode than it was last episode.
It was really bad last episode.
You were rolling like 90s and things.
Yep. I was due. I was really due. So if you watched... Okay.
Oh, totally. Oh, yeah, totally.
Only 2 points of damage.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay. Unfortunately, that's only a D6. So, okay. So then, if that one's over, the next one who goes is going to be... Let's see who's next. We cut then again. We jump into the hallway where Declan, you have just fallen beneath the water, and you feel something just tighten. You feel your bones crunch. You feel your ankle crack. You take 1 point of damage as whatever is wrapped around your leg, it's just doing hardcore squeezing, constricting. And they all are finished. Steven, Declan, I think, has the highest dex amongst the four of you, and you are now up. What would you like to do?
I want to do everything I can to get out of its grip and run away.
All right, you need to roll a strength test since you're already grappled. You need to roll a strength test to try to break free, or you can attempt to attack whatever. So that's up to you. You can just try to break free, or you can try to attack whatever it is that's on you. Those are your choices.
Definitely break free. How are we doing audience dice again? And do we have audience
10.
dice?
We're good. We're just
plus 10.
through.
Yeah, it's plus 10. You can't use it for sanity. You can't use it for luck, but you can use it for skill or for attribute tests. You get plus 10%.
I'd like to use 2 audience dice because strength is my worst skill, and I'm trying to break free. I need a 70.
It's contested, so I'm going to roll 2. Go ahead.
I got a 96.
Okay. Funny story. I quite literally rolled a 97, which is hilarious that you rolled a 96. The thing is, there's like, you failed.
Yeah.
So I think things just sort of stay exactly as they were because you didn't succeed. So you are thrashing around in the water. It's not so deep that you are sinking beneath it. It's like shin height, maybe up to knees. And so you're able to sort of contort. And it's really just your legs that something's wrapped around. And you can splash around just fine. But you are unable to break free. Next up, I think, is going to be Sue Ann.
I'm shooting. I'm going to get this thing taken care of before it goes anywhere else.
Okay, yeah, go right ahead. It's just you and her in here. You can sort of take a step or two back and fire, and then go for it.
Oh man, that is good. 41 under 44.
Okay,
So that is a success.
Roll your damage.
That is
Actually, might be enough.
Oh, come on. 1.
That is unfortunately not enough.
Gosh darn it.
1 point is actually not enough to take her out. She is quite damaged. You just kind of clip her this time on the shoulder, but the two of you are still going at it. I will give you also, give me an alertness roll. You're in combat, so I'm going to say, let's take like and it's also the lights flickering, the power's going out here and there. So I'll say alertness minus 20. You might not.
So just a reminder that my alertness is 80, if that counts for any sort of like.
I would say, yeah, if you weren't in combat, you'd get this for free.
Okay.
But the fact that you are in combat, I do want the roll.
75 under 80. No,
Okay.
no, sorry. No, you said.
Well, if you want to, yeah, it's minus 20. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, yeah, you don't see this other thing that I was going to say, but I'm not going to say it now.
Shoot, I should have taken audience points for that. Okay, I don't
He's
see
got a little,
I
arrogant
shot
there.
for 1
He's
point.
got a little arrogant. You're like, I got 80 alertness.
Yeah, you're right, I did. Yep.
You actually hit 60 for that point. Okay, so that is the end of your round there. We'll go to Luca. Luca, you see Declan splashing around. He is in trouble. He's struggling. Something's wrong.
I'll run up to him and try to help him up.
Okay, when you lean over or you bend down to try to get him, you see wrapped around his leg is what looks almost like an eel or a snake. It's slick. It's like this dark, terrible green, and it has like these very tiny little maws in it, kind of all up and down, and it's just constricting, and you see a tiny little trickle of blood come out from under a tear in Declan's pants that's dripping into the water. I do need you to roll a sand test for this, though, at seeing this thing that is clearly not just an eel, but it has like about a dozen of these tiny little maws. They're just all kind of moving their mouths a bit here and there.
All right, my 37 sand. I got a 36. I just passed it.
You're good to go. 0-1. 0-1. You're good to go. But yeah, some sort of strange, freakish eel of some kind or snake has wrapped itself around Declan, and he is thrashing around. What would you like to do?
I'll grab my tack flashlight and just bash at it until he's free.
Okay. Roll an attack. Yeah, just roll your attack. It's not going to do anything, so it's just a straight attack roll.
What kind of attack is this?
It's a melee weapon, I think, if you're using your flashlight. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I have a 30 in that.
Okay. Because I would say it's constricting and relatively stationary, it's not trying to actively dodge. I would actually give you probably a plus 20 to this because it's really just whatever. And if you miss, you just hit Declan, so it's no real big thing.
I hit Declan in the ankle because I got a 75.
75. As you go to swing down and you like Declan just squirms. Declan, you feel pain as your ankle just your head pops up just in time to see Luca just swinging down a flashlight onto you.
What the fudge?
There's something on you.
Okay. We'll go back then to the top of the round. Something happens in the cafeteria. We unfortunately have no specific viewpoint of that yet. And then we come then to the fight out in the hallway outside the cafeteria. And we have same thing. She's just going to keep trying to hurt you. 71. That is a fail. I needed 65. 71 over 65. So she comes lunging at you, but she misses. You manage to dodge it away just at the last second. She slides across, scrambles, splashes the water around. It's continuing to rise a little bit here and there. Again, shin height, almost knee height. She turns around, face. You see this tongue kind of start unfurling a bit. And then the tentacle will continue to constrict. Declan, roll one. Excuse me, you don't have to roll anything. Just take a point of damage, which is a flat point. And I would also note, I'd also say that Luca, what's your alertness at?
I have a 70.
Okay, a 70 in this case, because you're not actively fighting a creature that's fighting back the way Sue is. You do notice that there is something moving in the water in your direction, in between the flickering lights. It's moving away from where the children and the dog were huddled on the far hallway, and you can see there's something like a couple somethings kind of slithering in the water in your direction, and where Declan is as well. Turn to Declan.
My melee is just as good as my strength to break free. I think it's better to break free and try to put some distance between it. So I'm just going to keep kicking and thrashing to try and get away.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're kicking and thrashing, so again, you can either attack or you can just do the contested strength.
Break free.
Your call. Okay.
Yeah.
Roll the strength.
Do we still have audience dice? I'm burning through them now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'd like to take 2. So I need a 70 again.
Mm-hmm.
35.
That is a successful broke free, as I rolled a fail on my test. And as you kind of reach down, you just yank away, and then you kind of push your legs apart a bit until finally it just kind of unfurls a bit. It slips in your hands and goes kind of flying up and splashes down in the water, thrashing around. It is not dead, as you didn't attack it. You just tried to rip it off, but you are now free. You can stand as well if you like.
Yeah, I just want to start hobbling away as fast as I can. Standing up, whatever my movement will take me.
Okay. Are you hobbling behind Luca? Or are you hobbling towards towards
Merlin?
Dog? Okay, so you're hobbling towards Merlin. What is your
Luca
alertness
can deal
at?
with this.
What is your alertness?
My alertness is not good. 23.
Okay, you can roll an alertness test if you like.
Yeah, let's see how this goes. 46. So that is a fail.
Okay, you do not notice that there are more squiggly things in the water between you and your dog coming towards you like Lucas saw, but you haven't seen it. We'll kick over to Sue Ann in the hall again. Sue Ann.
So she is just like, this thing is just kind of keeps like coming at her, and she's kind of got her gun in her hand, and she's like, I do not know what the hell you are, but you need to not exist anymore. And so she is gonna, this is more just kind of flavor, but she is gonna just kind of take that second to just really kind of like anchor her hand kind of under the gun, kind of take that breath in and kind of exhale, and just really try to like be done with this thing. Because last time she didn't really hit it very well center mass with that like 1 point. And so she's really kind of like, this abomination needs to absolutely get the hell out of my hallway.
All right, give it a roll.
So I am going to take 2. It would have been a success anyway. That is a 42 under what was then a 64.
Okay, what's the damage? That's the key thing here.
I know, this is the thing that just is the roll. So this is just a straight D10. Let's
Doesn't have
see
much
what
left.
this is. 2.
2 is exactly as much as it had left, I swear to you. It had 3 in the last round. Yeah. It had that. So if you rolled a 1 again, I was going to freak out. But like, you turn and you unload and you catch like 2-3 shots center mass, and each one just kind of rips open her chest. It just pushes past through the soggy clothing that she has over top of it. But you can see her chest itself just begins to kind of fall away like tissue paper until the back wall is just scattered with gore, and she falls down to the ground. Have you Are you active? Have you been active duty? Like, have you been in, have you been in combat? Have you, I know this is a forward question. Would we think Sue-Ann has killed someone before?
I will say, we'll say no. Like, I'll say she's seen dangerous situations, but
Okay.
I'm going to say no. No.
Okay, I'm going to say, just roll a quick sand for violence really fast here. This is just the fact that you just did this. So just roll sand. It's not as though this thing wasn't trying to kill you either, but you can very clearly tell
Sure.
you did something awful here.
It had been a human at one point. That is a 99.
Okay. That is a crit fail, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So in the handler screen, it says kill in defense of oneself or another is a 0/1d4 sand test. And since your crit failed, you get the max, which is a 4 on a d4. So you're going to take 4 points of sand loss from violence. Do you want to push that into bonds or anything? You want to project that?
I'll just sit with it.
Okay, take your 4.
Yeah.
You also now, as you take a breath, you hear what's going on inside the cafeteria, and you hear screams of agony, screams of fear, and you see there's like the cafeteria door itself is being bulged against. As you can see, there's a group pushing, and eventually, as you look over, and you're in a moment of shock after what just happened to you personally and what you just did to this person, and you're all by yourself in this flickering darkness. Your mother's not here. She's in the cafeteria where all those sounds are coming from. And you just see like that wave pours out as the doors fly open, and you see about 7 or 8 people just flow into the hallway. We'll come back to that in a moment. Luca just saw Declan pull the thing off of his legs, and he's now running in the direction of the children, and more accurately, the dog. And you notice that there are these other squiggly things moving in your direction. All in all, you can see, I would say with your alertness, there's 3 that are moving towards him, and there's 1 that he just threw off of himself that's kind of between you and him. What would you like to do, Luca?
There's more coming your way, Declan. Watch your feet as I'll stomp on the one that he freed himself from.
Okay. Yeah, if you stomp, I'm going to say this thing... Yeah, I'm going to say like you can just do it because it just kind of flew off and it's recalibrating itself. And if you're just going to stomp down on it and you don't worry about hitting Declan anymore, you land on it and you feel it squish beneath your feet as your foot pushes through the water, pushes down and then against the floor, and it wrenches free. And yeah, it's dead. Anything else you wanted to do?
I'll follow after him.
Okay, you catch up with them quickly. Now the 2 of you are, we'll say, halfway through that hallway towards where the kids are, where the dog is, and you also hear the sounds of sloshing from behind. And you see, turning around the corner, you see what looks like Castillo, the older brother of Ricky, who is one of these kids that are huddling at the end of this hallway. And you also see Lisa Young, who is the young mother of Jamie, the other child who is huddling with Merlin. Ashley, you want to play Jamie? Okay, you're muted, but you want to play Jamie? You good?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. You can take an action if you like. You see your only child, your young, like 6-year-old, just adorable sweetheart. You're a single mom. Your mother is
she's running towards her kid.
Okay. You run right past Declan and Luca. For now, let's say I don't have the sheet race to say. We'll just use your stats as Megan. What's your alertness at?
My alertness is 60.
As you run and start to push past them, you notice that there's something moving towards you on the water. You look down at it. I mean, untrained eye. There's a group of snakes swimming through this dark water as the light continues to flicker on and off. Do you want to do anything with that, or do you just want to continue to try to just rush through them?
Is there anything near else in this hallway that she could jump on top of to maybe jump over them easier?
High or low?
We'll try low, but it's probably gonna be bad.
It's a 3, so you're good. So yeah, you can see
Hey.
that they have. It looks like they had moved some things into the hallway, and that's why like there's some like they moved some things out of some of the classrooms that had access to windows, and they moved some of the stuff into the hallway, and you can definitely see there's a couple of tables and things that you can hop on. So yeah, you can climb up on
So
that. No problem.
she'll jump up on one of those,
Sure
and
thing.
she's gonna yell to Declan and Luca that there's snakes in the water.
Okay. Then we'll say, let's see. Steven's gone. Melissa, you've gone. Everyone's gone. We go back to the top of the round. Okay. So, Sue, you see a stumbling, falling out of this cafeteria room. You see a handful of people, some of whom you recognize. You see what looks like the young the other head of the actual shelter, kind of blonde hair, 20-something Heather Moore, and her eyes are just drenched with what you think are probably tears. You can see the paramedic friend that Meg had. You can see that kind of sunburned, beached bum as well, Ronnie Lightside, and you can see that as they stumble out with a few other faces, something reaches out, wraps itself around around poor Heather Moore, the other attendant. And you see as she's crying, she just got through the door, she's about to scramble up and run away, and she reaches out to you as this slick black green tentacle wraps around her. Her face goes as if she just lost all her breath, and she gets yanked back into the cafeteria. I'm going to say you don't actually have full view into the cafeteria, or probably going to say you're on an angle, which is probably good for you, so you don't have to roll anything just yet. But a couple of people just stumbled out, and they are panicked, and they are certainly in pain. You can see that there's a body or two in the water as well that you think that you can't identify because they might have gotten trampled and pushed down by some of these people who were running. Okay, so the blighted one woman is dead. The tentacles. Okay. So I need Luca and Declan. These things are going to attempt to latch onto you. You can add like usual. You can attempt to dodge. You can attempt to fight back, whatever you prefer. As each of these are going to try to latch onto you.
Definitely going to dodge.
Okay, 2 are going to go for Luca. 1's going to go for Declan. So I'll start with Declan. It's just the 1. How'd you do?
I needed a 54. I succeeded with a 36.
Okay, I also passed, but I passed with a 17. And since your success is higher, you actually do kind of dodge out of the way as you see it reaches up, like it's almost like what happened to you when you leaned yourself out the window. It just sort of launches itself for a moment out of the water, but you dodge out of the way, and it just kind of goes flying behind you and splashes down right in front of Castillo. Luca, same
fight
thing.
Back.
Okay. All right, how'd you do?
A 54 under 60.
Okay, I failed with a 49. So what's the damage that you can do with this flashlight?
It's a D4, I think. Let me check.
Roll the D4. See how much damage
Yeah,
you
D4
get.
plus 1.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that damage.
1, so 2 damage.
Still, 2 points of damage. You're able to take one of these. Actually, 2 points of damage, you can take both of them out. As you smash away at them, they don't have a ton of health. You smash away and you kind of pin one against the desk that what's her name? Lisa just jumped upon. And then the other one, you just managed to smash down and right like overhand haymaker into the water. And you just see the color of the water suddenly shift and change. There's still what appears to be one more that's kind of starting to swim in the direction of Castillo, having managed to sort of leap up towards Declan, and Declan managed to dodge out of the way. I'm going to turn to Declan then. So your action is taken from dodging, but you can still move. So do you want to continue to move towards them?
With those things that they moved towards us and they tried to grab me, does that mean there's still more between me and Merlin?
Yeah,
Like two people have warned me.
Not
Okay,
that you think it's clear.
I'm gonna keep going for Merlin then.
Okay. You run towards Merlin.
I guess I'll look for the kids.
I did
Later.
yell snakes in the water.
High or low, Steven?
Always go low.
Okay. I rolled low again. You start getting within about 4 feet of the desk, and you see Merlin break free from the hug of what looks like Jamie and leaps off the table into your arms, like just flies through the air towards you, and just and is definitely scared to death, but is in your arms.
I yell out to the kids, "Follow me!" and then I start turning around.
Okay, you turn around.
Oh my gosh.
You see Lisa, you see Luca, you see Castillo, who is staring wide-eyed at this slithering mass of something coming towards him. And you hear 2 splashes behind you, which you presume are the children jumping into the water.
I'm sure it is.
We're going to kick over then to Sue Ann. You see a mass of people. You recognize a few. There's a few bodies in the water. You hear horrific screams coming from inside. You just saw one of the shelter workers get yanked back inside by a massive tentacle. You know that Meg is in there. You know that your mother is in there. You just suffered 4 points of sanity loss, and that's kind of going through your mind as you just killed someone. What do you do?
She is freaking out. Like, this incident in the hallway is definitely like, she considers herself a pretty tough person. There's a whole lot of things that she has seen that other people wouldn't have ever seen, but not this. And so she is definitely, though, she knows her mom went into the cafeteria with someone that can provide medical assistance. So, like, despite the fact that there are people coming out, she has not seen Megan come out with her mom. So I think she has to make an attempt to kind of try to get low, kind of between people, and see if she can get in there and at least lay eyes on her mom or Megan.
You push as best you can through this throng of people who are frantically half swimming, half crawling, half walking, stumbling past you, pushing past you. Some are grabbing you, begging you for help. Others you see are fleeing for the main door of the elementary school and going out into hurricane winds. Others are running deeper into the high school, just like you saw Declan and Luca do moments before. And then you look up and you see in the middle of the cafeteria, you see about 8 or so tentacles that are shifting and moving out in all sorts of different directions from a massive bloated woman that looks just like the one that you brought in, at least partially, except she has suffered horrific damage across the belly. On all these massive black tentacles, you see she's pulling what looks like Heather Moore through the air in her direction as one of these tentacles is just moving with it. You can see that one of the other tentacles seems to have placed Diego, the other health worker, up against her side, almost like for a second, it almost looks like a mother breastfeeding for a moment, but you realize that is not what's happening, as this violent implosion of Diego's head suddenly occurs in front of you as the skull just collapses inward, and you just hear this horrific slurping sound, and then his body just sort of shakes in the air. A few other people are caught up, being thrown around, vomiting in the air. You see Megan floating in the ground. A few feet in, you see your mother a little bit further in, as it looks like someone had placed her atop of a group of tables. You see Luca's partner, Sam, same thing, kind of right next to your mother. I need you to roll a sand test before we say anything else.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Uh, 25.
Okay,
That's a
a pass. So again, it's only going to be the D8. And I rolled much better than I rolled against Ashley. I rolled a 3, so it's 3 points of sin.
Okay, 71.
Do you take that?
I'm going to let it.
Okay.
ride for a little bit. Like one
unnatural,
of the people
whatever.
that she would push it to is laying in the ground in there. So
Okay. So you have just taken 4 points from what transpired in the middle of the hallway, and now 3 points from this. I imagine your brain is just going insane. No, Edo, it's a temporary insanity is 5 off a single roll. So 4 plus 3 are 2 separate rolls. Okay. As you look in, you feel a hand wrap around your forearm, and you look down as the man in that sort of Hawaiian shirt, sunburn, is almost using you to sort of pull himself up. You can see that something is wrong with his leg. And he looks at you, and every time you've encountered him before, he's had a, kind of a nonchalant kind of attitude. He's just sort of shrugging. He just sort of shrugged when the Karen yelled at him. And he's like, "Don't go in there. We gotta run. We gotta go." And he's just grabbing onto your arm.
My mama.
Your mama's gone. Trust me. Help. Go. And he's just like kind of pushing at you. And then, Sue, what do you do? It's your choice.
I mean, she fought real hard against this thing, and it took several rounds to get the one down that was in front of her. And so I think she kind of has an understanding of like, that took too long for me to deal with that. And that's like way bigger. And she's scared at this point. So I think she's going to kind of close her eyes for a second, and she's going to be like, "I'm sorry, Mama. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." And then she opens her eyes, and she's going to kind of pick him up and kind of just move into sort of herding mode away.
Okay. Do you go deeper into the school where Declan and Luca ran off to? Do you run outside? Do you ignore Meg as well, who you see just kind of floating in the water, moving past you?
Sorry, Ashley.
She understands.
If I'm leaving my mom in there, I'm leaving you in there.
Fair enough. Okay. So which way did you
go? I'll go towards, because I think I saw Declan go in that direction, so I think I'll go that way.
Declan and Luca, you saw runs. Okay.
Yeah, I'll go that way.
So you start dragging him away, and he's like, "Go, quick, go!" Ugh. And he's put his arm around you, but when you peek down, something has shredded his leg. Like you can see that like the bone is coming out of the skin. You would imagine that he has suffered something, perhaps from one of these tentacle attacks or something like that, but it seems to have endured it. A couple folks follow you. Others you can hear fleeing outside. You don't see what happens to them. It's nothing pretty, but they run outside as well. Okay. I will say we can drop out of structured, because the one thing that's still left immediately between you guys has literally 1 HP, and I would imagine between Luca and Declan and Lisa and everybody, they're able to smash down that last one. Lisa, who Ashley has so graciously taken over for us, you watch as your daughter Jamie, "Mama!" and she just hops off the water, and she starts trying to like half walk, half swim. She's a 6-year-old kid, so like knee-high water for us is much higher for her, but she is still kind of coming over in your direction.
Yeah, she's gonna scoop her up and kind of wear her like a backpack kind of, but on her front, and she's holding her.
Okay. And I'll say the same thing kind of happens with Ricky and Castillo. Luca, you have the flashlight. You start bashing away, and you can take out the last of those slithering things without an issue, as he's kind of staring almost in shock at it. And then he looks up, and you can see that young Ricky is now running. Declan, you have Merlin in your hands. You're at this intersection. There's this long hallway where the kids were at the far end. Remember, so many things are boarded up at this point because not everything's accessible. You did see that Castillo was like breaking down one of the doors that would give access to one of the different annexes or different areas. as you all are kind of huddling in that T section, you see coming around the corner Sue Ann, and she is in a terrible state. Her face is covered in blood and gore. You can see that she has Ronnie Lightside, the Tommy Bahama shirt, that whole beautiful Hawaiian shirt he had, kind of ripped and stained with blood and God knows what else. You can see his leg is almost dragging limply behind him. A couple other folks are coming with him. As they're turning the corner, we're going to say, I'm going to roll some dice to see who it is. So the other people that are there running with you, you see... Okay, you see, Luca, you see your partner, Mark. He survives. He's part of that crowd that's running away. You see Officer Joe Davis as well is kind of running, and he looks terrified. And these are all the people who kind of turn around, and like you have this group, all of you are right here. And I will stop the action music for a moment, and I will say, what happens, guys?
All right, so I need Officer Davis. What's happening back there?
I don't. This big tent. They just ripped him, sucked his brains out. Like,
okay, I got it.
And he can tell he's like freaking out.
The school, is there any opening areas? Is there a rooftop?
Okay. He's just like babbling incoherently, unable to get his senses about him. So, man, you're holding, this guy in your arms, and he's the one who speaks up, and he says, "Hi, Barry. On a hill, high point. Go! Don't stay in the water. They're in the water. Oh!"
Right. Sue Ann is just kind of as she's holding him, like you can just hear her, like she just is continually muttering under her breath. She's like, "I'm sorry, Mama. I'm sorry, Mama. I'm sorry, Mama. I'm sorry, Mama." And that's just what she's not engaging in the conversation just yet.
Okay.
All right, let's get a move on then to the library. We'll start directing however we can.
You look at you look at like one of the, like there's a map here and there, like these emergency exit routes and stuff like that. And you think that you can break out through the door that Castillo had been trying to smash open. And you can kind of follow that around. You're going to be partially exposed, but you're going to be like the way the school is. I'm not sure what your guys' schools were like in Arizona, but in Florida, there was a lot of open space. But there was a lot of overhangs on the outside. So you're going to be kind of exposed here and there, but you're not going to have to like go out underneath everything, but you're going to be partially exposed to wind. So you have to be a little bit careful. Okay. Declan, do you follow?
There's a hurricane out there. Why shouldn't we should hole up in a classroom or something? You want to go outside in a hurricane?
To you,
listen to these people, Declan. There's something coming. There's something here.
And at this, I think Sue Ann is gonna like kind of shake out of it a little bit, and she's just gonna lean in. "Sir, there is something back there, the likes of which I have never seen before, ever. I have served. I have done all sorts of things that you cannot even imagine, and you do not want to go that way. It is not safe for any of us. Listen to that man. We cannot go that way. We cannot. There, it is not safe there."
I think Declan, the change in Sue Ann's demeanor there would definitely convince Declan to go along.
Declan, the cop, Officer Joe Davis, is going to grab you by the arm, and like she'll just kind of pull you really close. Sucked his brains out. Just pulls him. Big woman. Just, they're all dead.
Hey, you're gonna scare my baby. Shut.
I gotta go help him. And you see him, he's like trying to like work up this courage, like, cause he is He is the police officer, and he's like, I gotta go help.
No, sir. This is not something that you can. This is not something that we are equipped to handle. We know. And she's just going to start rattling things that like she's not even thinking about, but just something that sounds sort of protocol-ish about like you take the survivors and you get to like a safe place kind of a thing.
Okay. Roll. I don't know. Like there's no real fast talk in this game. It sounds a little fast talky, but I mean, you could do
Persuade.
I'll take persuade for sure if that's what you would like to give a go.
No, I have a 20 in persuade.
I mean, I'm going to give you plus 20 because like he is terrified. So you're really just trying to give him an excuse to be, to run away.
All right. And I'll take one from the audience. It'll be a 50-50 shot. Oh no. 55 over 50.
Okay. That's a crit fail.
It is.
And you see, he just gets this sort of sudden and very thin indignation. If you all leave, then you run. I'm gonna go help those fellas. And he reaches down and he kind of pulls out what he probably thinks is a gun, but is really just this can of spray. I'm gonna go help him. I'm gonna get your mom. I'm gonna get. And he turns. And he starts trudging back in the direction of the cafeteria. Is anyone doing anything?
Could you at least escort us first? We got kids, Joe.
Okay. I like that. Give me a persuade. Plus 20.
Is your persuade better than
Yeah. I got plus
kids.
20 makes it 80. Fuck.
Again, we fail by 5. This poor man was not meant to
He turns to
live.
you, Officer Joe Davis, the dad from Family Guy, or Family Matters, excuse me.
Carl Winslow.
Carl Winslow turns towards you guys and he says, you got them DE agents. They're going to take care of you. Ain't that right, Agent Dante? Agent Collins. You get these little ones somewhere else and I'll take care of the rest. I will.
Of course, Davis.
And-
We'll come back for you.
Not if I come back for you first. And then he turns the corner. You guys leave and go outside at that point?
Yeah.
Push out. You feel the
I feel so
gusts of
bad.
wind and rain. You see uprooted trees and bushes thrown all over the place. You can see that this was likely some sort of outdoor kind of eating area. You see that there are these cemented like patio tables that aren't going anywhere. Those things are sturdy as can be, but they are drenched as anything. The water, you're sure that the sandbag stuff has definitely failed because like there's water almost up to knee high. But you guys start trudging through. Are you leading the way, Luca?
Yeah, I'll lead the way.
Luca, what's your alertness?
It's a 70.
Okay, you a few times, you're keeping an eye out for anything. You noticed as you're passing by some, what you think are classrooms, you hear sounds, but you're not sure if it's just the wind. Like they're all kind of muted. Sometimes as you're like kind of peeking through what looks like this recessed doorway that has some kind of, it's a some sort of protection on it. You almost think you see a light inside, but not quite. You get the sense that there's other folks or other things moving about. But eventually, you do manage to kind of push up the hill a bit. You can see the portables in the distance underneath this kind of orange light. These big old lampposts that are still giving this orange glow in some of the areas. You can see one of them, the roof is clear gone. It's completely gone. You can see another has fallen off its stilts and is kind of half flooded in water. But you make it kind of up this small hill, and you can tell the high points are like cafeteria and library, and you kind of climb up. With your alertness, you notice that you are not the first person up to these barred doors because the doors look to have been broken, like the things, the whatever it was that was using, like the the metal push doors and stuff like that, like whatever those push doors were, someone has certainly messed with these. Not only that, but you notice that someone shot it open. Like there are these chains, and someone actually put a bullet or two into these doors to try to open it up.
Knowing Mark and Joe got knocked out and their gun stolen, I'm gonna assume it's a suspect that's broken free. Let's talk to Mark here. Mark, the suspect's in there.
He looks at you, eyes wide. You have never seen him more pale. I shouldn't have seen. Sam's.
We'll talk about it later. No, we don't get these people in here.
Those things don't happen, man. Those things don't happen, man. Roll a psychotherapy if you want to snap him out of this and actually follow your orders. Otherwise, he's going to be a liability.
I have a 14.
Attaboy.
Let's
This
go.
is how you develop it. You might lose Mark in the process, but you might
33. Crit fail.
No.
He looks at you. I got your back, man. I got your back. Let's go. I'll
Right.
cover you. Go in.
I'll be the first to go in.
Okay. So you push through. It's dark in here. There's you don't see any lights the way the cafeteria had its lights on. You don't see any lights. It's definitely drier in here, but you do still see a small little film of that black water all over the ground, but you can actually feel that it's around the height of your ankle or your foot or so. You look around, you've got your do you have your flashlight on as you're looking?
Yeah, I'll light it up.
Okay. And you're looking around. Sue and Declan and Lisa, you're welcome to also tell me what you're doing here. I just didn't want to forget about you. Are the three of you doing anything here?
Lisa's definitely deferring to Luca and etc.
Sure. Declan or Sue, do you do anything?
I'm definitely getting Merlin like wrapped up in my coat as best I can, and then I'd like to look for some sort of blunt object just to feel a little more confident, something I can swing around.
Okay. So you're wrapping up Merlin and you're looking for something outside here that you could grab. Sue, what about you?
So Sue Ann has been kind of supporting this one gentleman kind of as we move along, and she's looking behind her just to see if there's sort of that hope against hope that she's going to like see someone that she recognizes like coming after them.
You don't see that. So Luca, you go in and you don't realize that you actually go in alone as Mark freezes at the door. Luca, you got your gun out. Do you have your flashlight up?
Flashing
Shining. You've got the classic combo as you're moving through corners, checking everything slowly. What's your alertness again? 70, 71?
70.
70?
Mm.
Okay. Roll an alertness test.
Okay.
It's going to be actively acted against right now.
Ooh, I have a 15.
Okay. I unfortunately rolled a 45 success on my stealth, which is higher than your 15. So you hear the cocking of a gun. You feel a gun right against your head. And you hear the familiar voice of Paul Romero, your prisoner. You hear him
Put my
say,
hands up.
I'll just go ahead and take this right here if you don't mind. I got a little collection going.
Bob, Paul. I've got the people out there.
Oh, do you? Well, that's a shame for them. And he calls out, no more room in here, folks. Gonna have to find somewhere else to hunker down. No vacancies.
No. They can't go back out there.
Well, they sure as hell can't come in here.
We can work this out, Ball. Come on.
I don't really know that you have anything to offer me right now there, Luca Dante. Let's see. One
Give
of
him the
your
sitch.
agents is sitting around in a cafeteria, her head bashed in. The other one was too damn stupid to realize that I got out of my cuffs about 5 minutes after y'all put them on. So, you're kind of at my mercy right now.
What do you want? You don't have to do this.
Well, right now what I want is I want them their handcuffs. Do you have, so I'm assuming you got like
Yeah,
handcuffs,
I'm
right?
fair. Yeah.
Put them on. Go ahead.
Give me a hand. Then.
No, I think you know how to do this. Sue and Declan and Lisa. Declan, I'll say on the ground nearby, you probably find like a big rock. That's probably the best you'd be able to find, like a planter stone. Sue and Megan, the two of you, if you want, can roll. You can roll alertness test as you realize. I mean, both of you notice first of all that Mark, the other DE agent, did not go inside, and it's just Luca who went in by himself. So the two of you, if you want, can roll alertness test.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Did we hear the guy call out?
Yes, you can. Actually, yeah, he would have called out. You don't even have to roll alertness. Never mind. You're absolutely right. You heard a guy yell out, "No vacancies." You know something's up. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Thank you for saying that because I rolled an 84 over 80. So
Nice.
thanks.
What do you want to do?
I think the guy saying no vacancy would just kind of piss Declan off because he didn't want to be out in this hurricane anyway. So he doesn't want to wait any longer than he has to. So I think he can't keep us out of here. I don't know who he is, so I'm going to just barge in, I think.
Okay.
Make the stupid choice.
Oh, Steven. You wouldn't go out in a measly hurricane to fetch a dead body, but you'll charge in on it.
I'm trying to get out of the hurricane.
I like it.
I don't know he has a gun.
Okay. You charge in. You come running in. Like, who do you think you are? You know, whatever it is you're saying. Oh, God. And
There's a gosh darn hurricane out there. We're not staying outside.
He's going to turn and he's going to fire his gun at you. Oh, my God. He's going to fire his gun. Oh, my God. He just turns and fires.
I'll take the distraction opportunity to tackle him afterwards.
Yeah, that is going to be a success. 47 under 60 on his firearms roll. Let's see. What kind of weapon does he have? I think this is... What did I give you, Luke? Did I give you medium
It's
pistols?
just a medium pistol, yeah.
Okay, so he's got... Because that's what he would have. He would have marks. So, and he would have the same thing. So it's a D10. It's non-lethal. Oh, God. Are you still carrying Merlin?
Yes.
You take 2 points of damage. You take 2 points of damage. I'm not going to shoot a dog. You take 2 points
Cheese
of
and
damage.
crepes.
As you step in, you get shot in the arm, right above, like it just nearly hits Merlin right in the head because his head has been nestling against your heart, and like the bullet comes out and he catches you right in your left arm, and it nearly hit him. Luca, you said you were going to take that opportunity as a distraction to tackle him. Go ahead and roll your attack unarmed, probably, unless you have.
Yeah, unarmed would be best here.
Yeah.
With 60 in it.
Go for it, man.
Got an 18.
Okay, you tackle him to the ground. Roll a luck test.
Luck test is just straight 50-50, right?
50-50. If you pass, I'm going to say the gun goes out of his hand.
Oh, a 22. I don't know.
22 crit?
Yeah.
22 crit. The gun slides out of his hand, and not only that, but his head falls and does the classic smack against a hard surface and knocks him out completely. And he just goes limp beneath you.
I'll cuff him with the cuffs I was about to cuff myself with.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You look up, Declan. Blood is starting to pour into your arm right there.
All right, everybody in.
Who's shooting? Who's shooting?
What? Shooting? What are you talking about? Shooting?
It's under
What?
control.
There's
Lisa's
shooting.
rushes in.
Lisa, you rush
Someone
inside.
shot me.
Are
You see Declan bleeding. You see a man on the ground. Luca is cuffing him. He's out. He's also bleeding profusely from a terrible head wound that he just suffered from being tackled to the ground. You see around you, you are most certainly entering into a library. There's a decent chance, I would say, that Jamie goes to school here. It is an elementary school. Jamie's 6 years old. She might go to school here.
Okay.
You look around, and you probably, which means you might have been here before, Lisa. But it's definitely a kid's library. You know, everything's just a little bit smaller and lower. There's not very many tall bookcases. You can see the lights aren't working in here, but Luca's got the flashlight and is kind of flashing around. You also notice that apparently there's a dimmed hurricane lantern that Paul had stolen, but had dimmed at your arrival. It looks like kids' books, magazines, tapes. You see these donation bins where people kind of throw old VHS tapes of like Read and Rainbow and stuff. You can see these classic movies here and there, some appropriate, some not. DVDs, cartoons. You can see there's science projects that are on display, like all over the place, some with ribbons here and there. As you come in, and you can see that like it's kind of broken now. There is this large cutout cartoon of like these anthropomorphic raccoons and squirrels that are like reading books. The bookshelves are probably only about the size of your waist. Beanbag chairs everywhere. There's definitely construction going on as well. So it looks like there's some unfinished work, drywall that still needs to be hung. There's like stacks of wainscoting that haven't been installed yet. So there's like a few interior walls that are studded, and there's some construction tools that have been left behind here by the workers and never retrieved. It's very dark, as all of the windows are completely covered. So all you have is the hurricane lantern that gives you a decent ambiance, and then the flashlight, which gives you sort of a more focused look. What do you guys do?
Suyin kind of comes in at this point, and she's kind of been shaken a little bit, and so like you just see her come in like with her firearm out. What are we talking about shooting? Are there more of those things in here? What are we shooting at?
It's okay,
I'm
Suet.
clutching my dog and my arm. Blood is pouring out. We don't need any more guns. It's a darn hurricane.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. No. So wait, who shot you?
I think I would just like start panicking a little bit there and just like look at that guy rather than actually saying anything in response.
Lisa's gonna run over to like the librarian's desk to see if maybe there's a first aid kit there.
Oh yeah,
granted,
sure.
it's like very basic, but
Super basic. It's just for like scraped knees and stuff like that. There's like, you know, alcohol, like rubbing alcohol, stuff like that.
Maybe like a couple of those little pad things.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If only we had a nurse here.
Yeah.
Oh,
We stole Brian?
Lisa picks up a gun. Yeah, you do actually still have your paramedic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So she'll offer that to Brian to have him maybe help treat Luca and Declan.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so we'll say the paramedic, Lisa helping, etc., are trying to patch up Declan a bit. What about what are the rest of you doing as you come in?
So Suyin will go over to Luca. Don't I recognize that one? Isn't that the one that you had in custody when you all walked in?
Yeah, this is him.
He does not appear to currently be in custody anymore. Well, wasn't, because then he shot him and now he is again.
Yeah, he broke free when we were rescuing that lady. But we got him. I got him.
Is this man gonna be a problem for us?
Does he look like a problem? He's cuffed and bleeding from the head.
All right. I was more wondering about the nature of his involvement with y'all.
I'll keep an eye on him if he can handle these people, yeah.
I don't believe that I'm gonna, if it's okay with you, I'm gonna go looking around, because those things just kind of come up out of nowhere and they're very, very, very dangerous. If we find any more bodies outside, we should not bring those bodies inside. That was an absolute abomination of the the people were becoming one with the thing, and that was that. Hell no.
Listen, Sweat. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But we're
The-
here. We're fine.
The body that was outside, that we brought inside, that morphed into some other absolutely like work of the devil kind of thing. That was just, I had to leave my mama in there. That was.
You're talking crazy. No, just go relax with everyone else.
Yeah, I'm not relaxing. I'm going to walk around the perimeter of the inside of this building and make sure that there is nothing else that is going to crawl out and attack us. Thank you, sir. And
Okay.
she's just going to see her and she's just going to go.
What's your alertness?
80.
Okay. You make a perimeter of the interior. If you don't notice anything, you do notice that it looks like Paul had collected some snacks from the vending machines here and there. So there's some things that you would just get at it, like, soda, like chips, this stuff like that he has kind of packed together here and there. You can also tell it looks like he tried to use the phones, not working. And he has just sort of been camped out here for a little while. Not very long, a little while. At a certain point. Yeah, go ahead. No, Lisa, go ahead.
Lisa's gonna crawl over to Ronnie after she gets Jamie and what is it, Ricky? Yeah, Ricky reading some books or something off to the side. She's gonna approach Ronnie and ask him, what happened to your leg? Where's my mom?
So you can see, you're looking at him, and he has got this his whole demeanor is radically different than this sort of casual sunburned bleach bum. As he looks like he's on something. He's so alert and jumpy. His eyes are so wide, pupils dilated, like everything. And he looks up at you almost like he didn't realize you were talking to him for a second. I'm sorry, darling. Your mom, well, let's just say she won't be bothering anyone anymore. I'm sorry. That was a terrible joke. It's a terrible joke. She's dead.
You saw it?
Yeah, you don't want me to describe it. Best you just start telling people she took a fall.
Okay. In your leg?
Yeah, it's pretty bad, isn't it? And you look down, and it looks like, it's like half the skin is gone from the knee down. You can see the bone is wrenched free, kind of slicing through the muscle, and he is just the pain just doesn't seem to kind of get him too much. Yeah, it's pretty bad. One of them, I took a fall.
Was it the snakes? There was snakes in the water.
Hey, it was snakes. That's right. That's absolutely what it was.
What do we do?
All right, calm down. Hey, darling, could you do me a favor? Can you go get the DE agent for me real fast?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then she'll run over.
When she comes to get me, I'm in a corner setting up the suspect, just sitting there trying to see if the radio works.
Radio does no communication. Nothing's going out. Everything's sort of busted. You're not getting signals. There's no responses. At the best, you're getting an emergency signal that's kind of clicking out here and there. And you, Lisa comes up, kind of taps you on the shoulder or whatever.
Is there a problem, miss?
Yeah. Can you just talk to this guy?
Yeah, of course.
You've moved all the guns away from the prisoner guy, right?
Yep, collected them all.
Okay, good. Then Lisa won't reach to grab one. Do I need to watch him?
If you're comfortable doing that, but maybe from a distance.
I'm not, but I will do it if we need it.
Feel free to, and I'll go meet up with the gentleman.
You kind of come over to him, and he is, again, that 1,000-yard stare. He's just kind of it's almost like it's It's the look of someone whose mind is racing, where it's just calculations, thoughts, constantly going. He's coated in blood and viscera. His shirt is torn. His leg is it just looks absolutely destroyed. And he looks at you, he's like, DEA.
That's
Where's
me.
Navy? Where's Navy? Navy!
Sue, I think
yes,
he's calling
sir?
for you.
Yes, sir. Name's Sue Ann.
I don't need to know your name. Navy will do. We got a problem.
All of us
That
do,
is the
yeah.
understatement of the year there, mister.
I am about to lose consciousness, and it is going to be a mercy as my leg feels like it's on fire. We need to do something.
Is it still bleeding?
Not about my leg. You can cut it off for all I fucking care. I was on vacation. I was on vacation. That thing, it ain't gonna stay in there. It ain't gonna stay in there. You get me? It ain't gonna stay there.
I cannot shoot that thing. That is what. Do you have a recommended course of action?
I didn't say nothing about shooting it. But it ain't gonna stay there. It's gonna come looking. It's eating something right now, a little sandwich or two. No offense. Because he kind of realizes he's talking about your mama. But then it's gonna come looking for more. Maybe it's us. Maybe it's one of them neighborhoods down the hill there. But it's gonna come. Your DEA, your Navy. You've handled maybe not this kind of stuff, but you've handled trouble before. We got a school teacher, we got a chicken shit science fiction author or some shit over there. We've got some house painter or whatever it might be, and a paramedic that, hey, he can handle the sight of blood. He ain't handling the sight of what was in that cafeteria.
I ain't hardly handling the side of what is in there. What am I supposed to do about that?
Something. We need to take it down. We need to take the whole fucking school down. If we have to. You got me?
I just have a gun. I don't even know what's over there. There's a
You have
hurricane going on.
authorization for actions like that?
And he kind of motions down, like into his, towards his pant leg that you can see has been ripped open a bit, but it's like he was wearing what looked like some cargo shorts. ID.
So I'll
ID.
reach in.
You pull out, kind of unflap it. FBI badge. Ronald Lightside. I was on vacation. Yeah. 2 months. Leave. We need to do something. And I can't move. Now, I don't imagine that your DEA vehicle has got anything other than a spare fucking tire, right?
That thing's
Nothing
down the river
more.
by now.
He's like grimacing between each chunk of phrases. I have some resources nearby. Close. Real close. 10 minutes walk if it wasn't raining. I got some things that can get the job done. But I am not in a state to travel. You all think you can Do an old man a favor. Federal agency to federal agency.
Ain't nothing about doing you a favor. It's about I've seen what is in there, and that thing needs to be taken care of. You do not have to convince me that thing does not need to leave that building.
I've seen that thing a hell of a lot closer than you, Navy. I seen that thing and I felt its fucking caress. And I sure as shit want to blow that fucking thing to sky high heaven. Can the two of you, whoever else you think is worth bringing, go reconnoiter me something I can take care of that with?
Well, what do you have then?
Little of this and little of that. And he kind of motions down to his other pocket. Left cheek. Left cheek.
Go dig it
I
in there.
got it. I got it.
And you pull out like some keys. And like he's got like a keychain. It's like a surfboard. But you can see he also has what looks like a storage locker key. And it's got Hypoluxo storage on it. I've been collecting things. And there's some stuff in there that'll get the job done. And then there's some stuff in there that you two don't need to look at. You got me? Things that I don't want you to look at, you don't want to look at. And if you touch it, I'm going to know. And not only am I going to know, the people I work for are going to know. So you're not going to touch it, are you?
Hate to ask the indelicate question here, but assuming you don't make it out of this here thing, who else is going to come looking at that there storage pile?
That's not for you to worry about. There's more than things that go boom in there. And I don't want you accidentally turning yourselves inside out or setting that storage place up in a pillar of thermite or a blaze of some kind. So when I tell you, don't go poking around, don't go fucking poking around. Two cases. They look like suitcases. They're made of metal. You'll find them. When you open it up, it's gonna look like it's some sort of hoarder's paradise. Some old lady collecting everything she had her entire life. That's how it's meant to look. Behind it, you'll find what I'm talking about. Bring it back, and I'll walk you through the rest. Don't go poking around.
Heard you loud and clear.
All right. Yeah. I'm going to take a little nap, I think. You see him just sort of drift off as the pain is finally kind of catching to him. So you have a...
So we'll just look at Luca. Did we just sign up to go out in this thing?
Been out twice already.
Damn.
Has there been any of a sign of like the calm of the storm?
high or low there, Luca?
Let's go high.
Timing of the eye.
I rolled a 5. It's a high. I rolled D6, just a 50-50 hit. You have noticed that there has been a little bit of a decline in winds and rain. Those of you from Florida would imagine that after that big surge, and now it's dying down, you think you might have went through one side of the eye wall. You have maybe a window, not a long window. We're talking like hour or two. It really depends on the size of the eye. But you sure as hell don't want to be outside when the other half of that eye, the other side of that eye wall comes through, because that's the strongest shit. And if you're out there, it ain't good. Now, you're local, Sue-Ann, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Born
no, I
and
mean, are you
raised.
local? Okay. Are you in the area?
Born in the area. Yeah, I don't currently live there
If
now.
that's the case, I'll just give it to you for free. Hypoluxo. It's off US 1. This Hypoluxo storage is off US 1. It's like the street that you're on here. It's called Minor Road. Minor with an E. Head down that east a bit. You're going closer to the ocean, so water isn't going to be great. But if you get into there, it's I mean, like, again, a good day's weather, it's a 10-15 minute walk. It's a 2-minute drive.
I don't know where this is, sir, but I do not know how we are going to get there.
We'll find a way. Maybe a stranded bike or something. And I'll announce to the crowd that we've gathered here. It's a small little... We're parting ways for a bit. We'll be back. Whoever wants to come can.
Parting ways? You have a prisoner right over there that he shot me.
It's okay, but partner here. Mike's got it. Mark.
What?
You got this, right, Mark?
Yeah, I got this. Did he have my gun?
Yeah, I'll hand it back to him.
Okay, don't worry, everyone. I got this. Where the fuck are you going, Luca?
The guy over there, his FBI, tasked me with the little project.
We don't work for the FBI, man.
We're federal agents. You really wanted this. That thing back there. He says it's coming.
What? It's coming. What? And you see he like turns around, he starts pointing the gun in the direction of the door. It's coming. It's coming. And
okay, everyone calm down. Calm down. All right. We're obviously panicking. It's a stressful situation. We don't even know what's going on. Like, for all we know, the hurricane just brought some squid in from the ocean, and that's what was in the water, and it's just a bunch of eels.
That ain't no fucking squid. Now, this gentleman and I need to go run an errand. Would you like to accompany us on that errand, or would you like to stay here? Your choice.
You're asking me if I want to risk my life in a hurricane, or if I want to stay here with a prisoner with Barney Fife protecting us.
These are the choices in front of you.
Don't worry, sir. You'll be just fine under my watch. I'm feeling much better now. What?
Yeah, I feel much better too. Are we? Is this really what we're doing?
These are your choices. Ma'am, and Sue-Ann kind of looks over to like the mom there.
Lisa's like 20.
Yeah, I might.
Yeah, I think she's like 25,
recommend
26, something like
that you might remain on site, perhaps.
Wait, what?
Are you looking to venture out with us into the storm?
Where are you even going?
We've got a little bit of time while the eye's overhead.
I don't know, but I saw like a survival show. Don't we need to do something about his leg?
If you yes, that might be wise. If you want to give me a hand, I'm a little bit trained in some first aid.
And Lisa's already taking off her belt, and she's like, "Yeah, I saw that. Like Bear Grylls did this or something." And
I love Lisa.
That's it. Yeah, you.
Do we want me to roll this? Because this is Megan's sheet, so this seems a little
cut it
crazy.
In half. Cut it in half. Okay. Whatever Megan had, cut it in half because Lisa's.
He has seen a survival show.
Can I assist?
That's why I said cut it in half. I think that's freaking fair.
I think that's fair.
No, I was agreeing with you. You
want to take some audience help?
Like, don't worry, I understand how tourniquets and syringes and drugs work. I'm from Florida.
Just one. Florida man.
We can say this because I'm from Florida.
And she's Gucci. She got a 10.
Nice.
Very nice. You find the place, you tighten up the belt, and you can definitely see that some of the blood loss has started to lessen on Mr. Light side here.
So what are we doing? Like, I can't leave Jamie here. But like, I don't want to take her into the storm. Like,
it's in. We're driving We're driving. We're gonna be back, or we're walking. We're gonna be
We
back.
can't drive. Are you kidding?
No, you're
did
right.
You see
No,
how high
you're right.
the water was?
You're right. There's a lot that's been happening today. Yes, we are.
There's
we are
fucking
walking.
snakes in the water. No, Jamie,
well
it's
aware.
okay.
I think they're squid.
It's probably fish. I could be mistaken.
Mama, where's Grandma?
I think she's still in the bathroom, but we'll have to check after the storm.
What is so important that you're leaving for?
Taking this opportunity to not linger any longer. It's either, yeah, we're just gonna go.
Okay, just jet.
you can make the choice to come with us, and we will. We have a long walk along the way that we can discuss this further. You can stay here.
All right, so Luke is going, Sue is going. Who else is going? You don't have to go, by the way.
I don't think it
You
makes
can stay
sense for Lisa
behind
to go.
in the elementary school with whatever the hell that thing is.
So much like a field trip. Like everybody hold hands and get in line as we walk together to the storage unit.
As Luca and Sue leave, you can see Mark's like, okay, everybody, don't worry about it. I'm here. Everything's going to be just fine. Everything's going to be okay. Hey, little kids. How you doing?
Do you want me to hold that for you for a little bit?
Ma'am, I am specially trained in firearms. I don't think that would be appropriate. So don't. Did you hear that? Did you hear something? Thought I heard something. Oh, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Maybe I could hold it while you watch the door, and I could keep it to watch the prisoner.
No, I don't think that's a good idea, ma'am. I think you should just go sit down with your daughter, and I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Do we have Officer Joe's gun somewhere?
Well, there are a total of 4 guns, not counting Sue's. Because Luca has one, it's his own. Sam had one. Then Mark had one. And then the Officer Joe had one. So there are a total of 4. I presume Luca's got his own. Luca, what did you do with the other? Hang on. Other 3.
Mark has his.
Mark has one.
Sam has hers.
So there's 2 more.
And
So Sam still got hers on it. So there's 1 more that's unaccounted for.
Right. Oh yeah. So the prisoner would have had it. So I would have had it.
Okay. So Luca's got 2 guns. Okay. All right.
So Luca can leave a gun with Lisa if Luca wants to.
Yeah. I don't think that's a good
I
idea.
don't know if he would, yeah. She's a civilian.
Just checking.
It's okay. I watched cop shows all the time. I watch CSI. I watch NCIS.
Declan is incredibly torn here. He doesn't want to stay with Mark, but he also doesn't want to go out in the hurricane. I think he's going for the hurricane.
Okay, fair enough. Luca and Sue and Declan, do you bring Merlin with you?
I'm not going to leave him with Mark and those kids. They got sticky fingers.
Okay, you bring him with you. Fair enough. So the 3 of you leave the library. Lisa, you hang behind. And you plunge out into the night. And it is definitely the eye of the storm. So there has been a significant reduction in rain and wind. It is actually relatively calm at this point, which isn't to say that it's calm relative to a hurricane. But you're not getting battered about. You're not too far away from the playground. You can kind of cut through the playground if you want. If you're trying to avoid the cafeteria, you can kind of cut through the playground and sort of descend down the hill at this point. This is how we're going to treat this. I'm going to have, because right now we're out in the, it's flooded. Everything's flooded. There's debris everywhere. Street lights are out. There's a couple around the campus of the elementary school that are still up, but for the most part, it's very rough around here. But we're going to treat this. There's a clock ticking. I'm just going to let you all know there is a clock ticking in terms of when the second half of the hurricane. I have no problem with a TPK, by the way. I have no problem with this at all. So there is going to be a ticking clock for when the hurricane comes through. And how well you guys do on this travel is going to determine, how fast we get. So we're just going to treat this sort of like a quick encounter or a skill challenge. I want the three of you, as it's not a long travel, but mostly it's you climbing over things, wading through water at times, not necessarily full on swimming, but wading through water at times, climbing over. So you see cars drifting and floating down what looks like this completely flooded street. One of them's a Miata. Just off it goes. You are kind of climbing.
You don't have to hurt me, Jeff.
I shot you already, so I feel okay with it. I gave you the dog back. Like, no
That's
problem.
Fair. That's fair.
I can do whatever I want now. All right. And so you're climbing up and over these things. You're seeing all sorts of debris. Like at one point you see like half of a billboard, some sort of like public service billboard, just like, do you know where your kids are? As it's just sort of kind of floating past you, like, where are your kids? And you can see there's the roads are kind of swirling here and there, like these little whirlpools almost kind of unnaturally forming, but they're clogged a bit here and there. As you travel past. So I'm going to want a check from each of you, and the quality of your is going to determine how long it kind of takes you to get there. So of the skills I'll accept, and I'll listen to arguments otherwise, but of the skills that I would accept, survival, athletics, I would say swim, I would take as well. And let's see. I'm trying to look to see if there's any others. Those for sure. Those three sound good.
You said you're open to persuasion?
I'm open to you persuading me to another skill. I'm not open to persuasion.
Okay, I'll use persuade.
What about like search for like a safer option to like go
I'll take
through?
search. Navigate would work.
Yeah,
as well.
I'll do search if I can.
Okay. So each of you just
I'd like
kind
to
of
spend
rip a
some
roll
audience dice too.
and let me know how you do. And the longer, and like, again, successes, fails, critical successes, critical fails, it's going to tick the clock.
I'll take one audience dice, Melissa, if I can.
Got it.
Go with athletics.
Okay.
34.
I needed a 40. I rolled a 70.
Okay.
Got a
One fail.
15.
Pass for Luca?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to do navigate with an audience. I'm going to need a 60, and I rolled a 17.
Okay. So 2 passes and 1 fail. So why don't we do this? So you're local, you roll navigate, you're taking the lead, you bypass the cafeteria area entirely by going like around the playground. You're wading through water. A couple times you feel your legs sink. You can see that the seesaws at one point, which were like moving back and forth in the open imagery, have just sort of settled as the water has reached their height. You can see like the empty swing set bars, tree or two has fallen over. You can see like a bench has been uprooted and it's just floating past you. But you circumvent it and you start descending kind of in the direction of where the road would be, that minor road that you're looking for. So you take the lead then with navigate. Tell me, just sort of tell me what Sue does as she takes the lead. Take a moment to just describe you doing something with navigate that would help the party move more quickly.
So what I might say, if this is allowed, is that like when Sue-Win was bringing her mom into the shelter, that she did kind of look out for like high areas on like the grounds. And so just kind of looking to see like what areas she thought she probably might be flooded and what areas might not be flooded. So maybe she kind of knows a little bit of, kind of the ground isn't necessarily 100% flat. And so kind of an idea of where the high areas might be. So she's kind of like directing them like over here, there's a little bit of a hill. And then if we go that way, there's going to be a little bit of hill. And so like trying to get them through the areas that are not quite so flooded.
Yeah, the neighborhood definitely is undulating. Like if you're cutting through the neighborhood and you're not sticking to the road itself, and you're just kind of cutting through yards or back streets or just avenues, it's definitely undulating, which is one of the reasons why there's so much flooding here and there, because there's high spots, low spots, and it's very undulating. Luca, you rolled an athletics test. Describe something Luca does along the way as you are trying to help push push the group towards wherever you're going.
This is more of a keeping a constant pace instead of speeding up, slowing down, keeping a steady pace throughout the whole thing to keep our stamina up, but to get there as fast as possible.
Now you're moving about. At a certain point, you actually you look around and you realize you can see there's a handful of folks that have kind of come out from their backyards here and there. You can see like this orange light of a cigarette, as like there's a couple people who are like standing on their back porches smoking cigarettes. You hear the crack of a beer or two as you just kind of pass by, and there's these folks that are just kind of standing out there, and they just kind of look up, give you kind of a random wave in the middle of this storm, and you continue on. And then Declan, what did you roll again?
I needed a 50 and I rolled a 70, so I failed.
Okay. What skill did you end up rolling?
Oh, search. Sorry.
Okay, so what did Declan do in the travels that slowed you guys down and wasted time?
So I think Declan, his ankle is killing him. His arm is almost useless, and he's holding Merlin. So he's just trying to like find the best footing possible with each step, and it's all flooded, so he can't really see anything. So he's just constantly like tripping on debris and rubble that he can't find, just splashing in the water. He's trying to go as fast as he can, but he's just not able to navigate through the pathways.
More than once, maybe like Merlin kind of squirts free and you have to like kind of gather him back up, and it's just sort of slowing you guys down. Luca and Sue, you get pretty far out in front, and then you turn back and you realize like Declan's like lagged behind and you have to wait for him or kind of go fetch him. And again, you guys are not going that far, but just because of the state of the streets being flooded, cars being shifted and moved by this rush of water, and like you have to bypass it, trees, like you can see that there's electrical lines that are down that you should be really careful around. But other than that, you do get there. It takes probably about twice as much to almost 3 times as long as it would normally to get there. So usually it would only take maybe about a 10-minute walk. For you guys, it was like half an hour climbing over this, swimming through that, wading through that, working through someone's backyard, hopping almost like frogs from the top of one car that's partially flooded to the top of another car, chasing back to get Merlin, who's doggy paddling away. But eventually you arrive at Hypoluxo storage, and it's just like any other storage facility you've ever seen. It's outdoor as well. You can see that there are several rows of various sized garage doors. This place is also, you can tell, has suffered some flooding. You don't really see any serious damage here or there. All these the very blocky concrete buildings. You can see that more than likely some folks might have stored like cars in here or stored like their smaller boats in here. Stuff like that is probably what was happening around here. But you have Ronnie's key. It has like the storage locker number 161. And you, without too much trouble, can kind of hop over a fence or go through the main entrance, and you can hunt down. Takes again a couple of minutes to actually find it. But eventually you find you the three of you are standing in front of what looks to be like a 15-foot wide storage unit. The door is probably about 10 feet wide. It is one of those garage pull opens. It's up on a slight bit of a hill. You've had to trudge through some dips where there was water. You can feel some light rain hitting you as well. There's no light whatsoever. Everything's dark, so you only have what you brought. You use the key, you pop it open, and you see in front of you what looks like broken or damaged wooden furniture, doors, cabinets, stacks of boards. They're all just kind of piled on top of one another. It looks like someone just stacked a bunch of dumpster trash into a storage unit. But there's also the smell of like sort of an odd smell wafting through, almost like incense, something pungent, and it's not unpleasant, but it's like the smell of something, like someone burning incense in here. I need you all to make a search test, as each search check that you get that is successful is going to have the amount of time it takes to search through here and kind of find what you're looking for.
I'm taking audience after that.
I have a 71 in search. Rolled an 84 and failed.
Look at Luca flexing like someone's like,
Yet again, I took an audience die and I rolled 5 over what I needed. So I failed.
it's 2 fails.
You should have taken 2.
I needed a 40 and I rolled a 52, so I failed.
Oh my
3
gosh.
fails.
We're
The
going to get
three
hit
of
by
you-
the eye wall.
The 3 of you get to unloading this thing. You're pulling, like ripping out these broken bookcases, what looks like broken rattan furniture. Like all of it's broken. None of it is actually intact. All of it.
What are we looking for? This is all junk.
Mhm.
Why are we even here? We're sifting through an old man's garbage.
We're looking
He
for
said there's
suitcases. 2, right? Didn't he say 2?
2
cases?
big metal ones, yeah.
Did he say if it was black or brown? Do we even know what color of a thing we're looking for? Red suitcases, green suitcases, blue suitcases. Oh, see.
Merlin, no, come back. Merlin.
And you see Merlin hop down, and he like kind of sneaks between some of this debris, and he kind of disappears deeper into the storage facility. And you hear him kind of after a moment bark, so you know he's okay, but he's barking like he found something. So you continue to unload, and it's taking forever. And you stop, and you're just throwing shit onto the ground, like it doesn't matter. But eventually, you get this what looks like a broken Murphy bed, and you start taking the pieces away. A big old mattress you just throw it away, and you see instead behind it is like an office. All of a sudden, you see a desk, like this sort of metal and green, like this metal covered desk. Like the countertop is metal, and then there's like this greenish. It's a little bit scuffed up drawers and such. You see a filing cabinet or 2. There is a bookcase with a couple books. You notice that there is a book that's been unfurled and opened and set on top of the actual desk itself. You notice on the wall, there is what looks to be a floating shelf where there is a rifle case. You also notice that underneath it, kind of leaning up as if it was just like a casual broom against the wall, you see what looks like a 12 gauge double barrel shotgun just leaning up against the wall. You see in a like a waste basket, a little paper basket, like a little wicker paper basket, there appears to be some grenades, little flashbangs at least. I would say, Luca, you would be able to recognize that. You can see on the desk next to this unfurled book, which as you peek at it, it reads Lucid Dreaming, a concise guide to awakening in your dreams and in your life, where you see there's several passages that have been highlighted. You also notice that there is a pipe that is like this lead pipe that has this weird kind of etchings, like some sort of strange runic etchings in it. And you also notice that there's like what looks like a display case, like a small square display case that maybe a professional baseball player might put a ball inside. There's one of those up on the desk too, but instead of there being a ball, you see this green metal dodecahedron about the size of a chestnut, and it is just sort of set up, just displayed within this case. And you also notice in the far corner where you now see dear Merlin barking, tail wagging, doing a beagle point. There are a pair of very large metallic cases the size of suitcases.
Son of a monkey, what is this?
There, your dog. He's found him.
Who is this guy? He has an office with... What's going on?
We just know he's with the FBI, but come on. I'll get those cases moving.
I want to start
look.
rifling through the desk. That would be the thing that interests Declan most.
Do you really?
I mean, he wasn't told not to.
That's fair. You actually were
That
there for
is-
that conversation. Is that what you're
yeah.
going to do, Declan?
Yeah. He would be interested in the book and the runic etchings on the lead pipe, especially.
Okay. Well, you pick up the symbols. I'll tell you what. Do you have? You can roll on
I have
occult.
archaeology, history, and occult.
Roll occult.
All right. I have a 50 in that. Rolled a 93.
Okay. You can't quite decipher exactly what these say, but they do look actually familiar to you. Maybe when you were doing research into one of your books, you've stumbled across subject matter that might have covered this. It's a language, or it's like hieroglyphics, maybe runic symbols, something cultish. Can't determine exactly what it says. It's something to do with the head, with the cranium. It's you would need more time. If you had your resources, or if you had your books, if you had anything, you probably could figure it out. But it feels.
You don't need to bring up the books. I know they're ruined in the cafeteria. It flooded. They're all.
Sorry, buddy. The last copies, huh?
Just so that you are aware, that the gentleman that sent us here did request that we not be nosy with his things. You know, he is a federal agent and all, and I do not believe that you have the clearance to be reading federal related information.
I pick up the lead pipe and show her. I don't think this is FBI related.
And it's very much a generic lead pipe. It's hefty in your hands, and there's these weird kind of engraved, possibly burned into the sides. You're not entirely sure. You would need, like, you're doing this quickly without much light. There's just like the flashlight that Luca has. That's kind of,
I'm definitely
really kind of hard to see.
Keeping that, because I've been looking for a blunt object to swing in anyways.
Okay.
I mean, if you got something for that, I suppose it might be a little bit of a comfort for him if we make it back. If he wants to smoke a pipe, perhaps. But I do believe, I don't know if you have any objections to this, but I do believe that shotgun might be useful to us on our return trip.
You handle that, Sue Ann.
I'll also grab one of those briefcases over there if you want to grab the other one.
Okay. Declan, there are several drawers here that are file cabinet size. Like there's definitely files.
I'll take a peek.
You open them up, and there are several case files in here. Several.
Can I see like labels on any of them? Like
Depends
not
on
going
Luca.
through them, but just
Luca's got the flashlight. It depends on how much you would want to sort of.
Luca, I need
encourage
some
your
light
gear.
over here.
It's not the focus, so I'm not going to give it to him.
Okay, it's too dark. You can't see anything. It's organized, but
I am a writer, and I don't think I could pass this up because I would do anything to write a good book. So
Okay.
I'm gonna grab some files and stuff them into my coat.
okay. Roll a d100 and tell me what you roll.
60.
Okay, thank you. All right, so you take a chunk. You take a big old hanging file folder, tuck it underneath your arm. You've got the lead pipe. You've got Merlin back in your arms as well, and so you're just kind of moving around with everything there. Luca, you have one of the cases. Sue-Ann, you have one of the cases. I think Sue-Ann, you said you took the shotgun as well. Is that right?
Yes, it did.
Okay, there. It's you notice that it's been cut down to about 10 inches or so. It's sawed off a bit. It's got what looks like. Hang on. There are 9 shotgun shells that are next to it. When you pick them up, and something's a little odd about them, they kind of sound weird, and you realize that that each shell has been loaded not with like normal lead pellets. You kind of see one of them is already like deconstructed on top of one of the shells, and it looks like there's just a bunch of silver dimes that just spilled out of it. Someone put a bunch of silver dimes in it. Who the hell knows? Anything else you guys want to? I am, by the way, marking time each time you guys investigate something. I'm marking time.
I'm not the leader of this group, so I'm basically just doing what I can until they decide we're leaving.
Yeah, it's once we get what we need, it's just leaving.
Okay, Luca goes. And Luca's your light, by the way. So Luca's the only light. The light does not work.
Yeah,
there is an overhead light. There is a desk light, but not the power doesn't seem to be working.
I'm not staying without him.
Yeah, Mr. Ellis there, sir. Don't be surprised if we survive this here hurricane and all the rest of the shit that's going on. Don't be surprised if you get called in for some questions with the nosy and busybody and around that you've been doing. Let's get out of here.
I don't know what you're talking about. And I stuff the files further in my coat.
Okay. So we'll cut and fade from there. We will say you're traversing back. Megan, you're back in the library.
Lisa, Megan's
in the
dead.
cafeteria.
Megan's definitely in the
Megan's
cafeteria.
in the cafeteria.
100%, she's going to forever be in that
Under
cafeteria.
about a foot of water.
Well, part of her is there. Part of her is somewhere else. Okay, Lisa, go ahead and what's your alertness at?
Megan's was 60.
Okay, I'll give you half because you're not a nurse or something. We'll say we'll just kind of do half, like you're sort of 30, but 30 would still be pretty good. You hear something kind of against one of the windows. The windows are all boarded up, but you hear something scraping or someone kind of slamming or banging. Like you hear something outside, like trying to get in through, pry open one of the boards.
She's gonna maybe take Brian and help instruct him to help move the bookshelves as much as we can to like start also reinforcing the windows.
Okay. Problem is that these bookshelves are very short. They don't really cover the windows. They're kids bookcases, so they're not really very tall.
She can't like stack some or like.
Okay, that's not as easy as you think. You're stacking
Yeah.
That's pretty hard. Then you're taking all the books out and you're stacking the other one on top.
She's not worried about taking the books out.
Griffin,
they might be too heavy.
Griffin, there have been times when I've actually killed 2 Ashleys in a session.
That is very true.
The dice have killed 2 Ashleys in one session.
Stephen has killed 2
Killed me.
Ashleys.
Yeah, twice in a session.
Yeah, yeah. I was just facilitating it all. Okay. So if you're just looking to board up, that's totally fine. Okay.
Yeah.
You board up that window. At a certain point, I'm gonna say Ronnie wakes up. DA, Navy, DEA. And you see Mark comes over. Yeah. I'm in the DEA. What can I do for? Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's under control, sir. I just need you to calm down. You're gonna be okay. The paramedics are on. Get the fuck out of my face.
Go. You gotta watch that guy.
Yeah. Right. I gotta watch that guy.
Yeah,
And he goes over and his hand's still shaking with the gun, and you can see he's just pointing it down at Paul Romero, still unconscious with the head wound. And Ronnie looks up at you. What do you do? I mean, it's whatever you want.
I work at a grocery store.
Okay. Grocery store. Okay. Publix?
Yeah.
You make good subs. Thank you. You got any painkillers?
Yeah, I got Tylenol in not the good stuff. I'm an
Publix,
addict.
have you seen my leg?
Yeah, I watched the TV show and I did a tourniquet on it.
Okay. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. It would have been nicer if you didn't have that little fork of the belt digging into my skin, but otherwise, real nice job there. Real nice job. I'll take some of that Tylenol if you don't mind.
Yeah, I think I can give you like 8 right now, and then in a few half hour I'll give you more.
Okay, I don't trust that other DEA fella. I think he's gonna lose it.
I think he is too.
If you don't mind, could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
He reaches behind and he pulls out what looks like a really big knife. It's in its slot. Could you just go ahead and stick this in the back of his neck for me, please? I appreciate that. He's gonna get us all killed. It's better to just kill him.
You.
Come on. Just imagine he's one of them people who come up to your register and just being a total asshole. You know how it is. People with really old coupons expired, but they still want the discount. And then they get on your case when you say you can't.
Yeah, my kid's here.
Just give her a book. There's plenty in here. I like them big red Clifford dog ones. Those are good. Oh, man, I read them to my kid. No shit. It's just a quick...
Look, does Lisa do this?
I don't give it. It's up to you. Whatever you like to do. You don't have to do.
Shit, Lisa's doing this. Okay.
Cat says
Dice
channel
have
your inner
spoken.
Aaron.
Okay.
My mom's dead. So Lisa's gonna try and like... fuck. How does she approach this? Yeah, no, she's... well, no. She's gonna ask this guy, what do you have... Am I gonna go to jail for this?
No, don't worry about it. That's not a problem. No one's gonna know if everything goes right. No one's gonna know what happened here. And if everything goes wrong, then you're gonna be in the belly of that big fucking bitch in there, just like your mother.
Yeah, and I'm gonna attempt to kill this guy.
Okay. So Lisa the grocer is going to attempt to kill a DE agent that is losing his shit, who is pointing the gun at this drug dealer, because I think that's what it was. It was drug dealer, because DEA. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I'm looking at Megan's. Okay, you have 30 in melee weapons. I'll give you 30. Yeah, you can take 30. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. What's your stealth at? Oh God, your stealth's no good. All right. Let me see. He's out of his shit. He might not know this. Okay, I rolled an 85 on his alertness, so he doesn't actually see you sneak up. Go ahead and roll melee. Go ahead and roll melee test.
Okay. Can I take some dice, Mel?
You can take 2.
Yeah. Which, thank God I did. Because I rolled a 47, and with 2, that would have put me up to 50, right?
Okay. So that's 47 under 50. Is that what you got?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right. I'm checking the damage on a knife really fast here. So the damage is, it's only, well, 1d4 seems pretty low. But I think that's what it says. Yeah, 1d4. 1d4. So go ahead and roll
Unarmed is 1d4. So a knife should be
It's got to be more. Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Well, unarmed is 1d4 minus 1.
Yeah.
So roll it. Go ahead and roll 1d4.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll 1d4. This is also armor piercing. That was the other benefit of knives.
That makes sense.
3.
So you come up quietly and you stab the knife as best you can. Like you're trying to get him in the back of the neck like you were told, but you kind of miss. And you just sort of stab him like really hard in the back of his shoulder. And he goes, "Rah!" And the gun goes off and he fires. You see the bullet Does
he shoot the criminal?
Yeah, exactly. Shoots him and you see this explosion of red right in the chest of this Paul Mormera guy. You see blood just squirt all over the side of this, because you probably have him tied up, I would say, behind like the library office area, and just kind of cascades everywhere. And he's like, "Oh shit!" And he turns around and he's looking at you. He's got blood on his face from the explosion. He's got a gun in his hand. What the fuck are you doing? You got one of them things in you, didn't you? You got one of those things and you didn't.
No, you had one. You have one on your back, and I was trying to get it.
Oh shit. Okay. Okay. Roll a persuasion test.
Good save. Good save, Ashley.
Would you say I'd still
had a
have
couple
that
good
persuasion
arguments
because
tonight.
I'm a mom?
Sure. And you also have to persuade people at Publix that you actually give a shit about them.
Yeah.
Nobody who works at a grocery store cares about you. Just nobody does. Like no one cares. If you're the type of person who chats with it, like just
Yep.
they don't want to be there. They don't want to be there. They're just getting through the day. That's all they're doing. Don't chat with them.
My
Public service
persuade is
announcement.
60, and I rolled a 55.
What? There's one on me. Get
Yeah.
off! Get off! Get off! Where is it? And he pulls the knife out, and so now he's got a gun in one hand. He's got a bloody knife in there. And he's like looking around.
Do you want me to try and shoot it?
What? No, where is it? There it is. And he fires over there and like at a shadow, and you see just an explosion in the wall where he kind of fires over some papers, kind of scatter. And he fires over there, and he continues to start firing around in the office. What do you do?
I'm gonna try and knock him out.
Okay,
just clock him, or
okay, yeah, that's fine.
I think it's just like panic response. Like she's just gonna be like, "It's right there," and then just punch at him.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, I'll roll unarmed.
What is my unarmed? 40. Oh, nice.
God, if I were a cruel
28.
GM, I just had to be like, "Mommy, what's that noise?" And it comes running in here, but I'm not that guy. This is a serious game.
Yes.
28, Jeff. I passed.
Okay.
And if I roll
A D4 -1.
Oh, I didn't mean to roll it again.
Yeah, just roll D4 -1.
2.
Okay, 2 more points of damage. Now the thing is he's already taken some damage from when he was inside as well. He got trampled over a little bit. So you conk him over the head, which doesn't actually put him out. It doesn't put him down to 0, so you don't actually kill him. But with Delta Green, you don't actually have to get taken down to 0 to be taken out. You actually have to go, I think it's down to 2, I want to say. Let me double check. I think it's like 2 health, if I recall. Like you kind of get knocked out or something like that.
Looking.
I think that sounds so right, but whatever. Anyhow.
Trying to find it. It looked earlier, and then I lost it.
So I'm going to say it's enough to sort of knock him down, and he kind of crumbles to the ground. He drops like, why did you do that? Where is it? Is it still on me? And he starts panicking, and he's like, his blood still kind of pouring down his shoulder. And he's like, get off me. And he starts kind of trying to push past you to get into the library proper. And at this point, you hear like the kids are crying. You can see that there's Castillo, like the older brother of the other kid is trying to come like, everything's fine because gunshots just freaking rang out, you know? And so like, everyone's panicking. You can see Brian, the paramedic, is like taking cover behind what looks like a bookcase. And this man just stumbles out. What do you do? Megan?
She's gonna drag him back in to like the area and just try and knock him out again.
Megan, you come up behind him as he's panicking, and you kind of like jump on his back. You've seen it.
She's
You've
just
seen it.
frustrated. Can you just shut up? My kid's here.
Do you watch wrestling? Maybe. I mean,
yeah.
You're from Florida and you work at now I'm being so stereotypical. Oh
Bear Grylls and wrestling.
Wrestling, Publix. Leaves a house on his back.
Lisa lives off
down.
TV.
And he flops down. And this is the image that Luca and Sue-Ann and Declan see as they step into the library, having made it back. Before the eye wall hits, you see Lisa dragging your partner down to the ground, Luca, and your partner kind of collapsing. You see he's got a big old stab wound on his shoulder, plenty of blood. You look over behind him and you see that Paul Romero has a blossoming red smudge on his chest and a bullet hole.
What the fuck is happening?
It's him. Your fucking friend here went fucking crazy.
And
I told you he was going to do that.
I'm going to rush over to subdue Lisa here. She looks a bit crazy.
She's going to grab the gun that he dropped and she'll point it at you. If you fucking come towards me or my fucking kid, I will blow your fucking brains out, you piece of shit.
Declan
Okay.
gets to the side as fast as possible.
Fair
Just-
enough.
We could do this in a calm manner. Just explain what the fuck is going on here.
He's been jumpy this entire time. Every fucking noise had him fucking tripping. He was gonna get us fucking killed. Something's trying to fucking break in here from the outside.
Is the FBI agent alive? I'll go over to him.
Yeah, you go over towards where Ronnie is, and he's just like, your boy went absolutely crazy. He was waving the gun around. He shot that prisoner, and he was going to shoot the rest of us if she didn't act. She saved lives, man. He broke. Not
Jesus
everybody can
Christ.
handle this shit. You can handle it. He can't.
Whatever. We're here. We brought the cases.
Here's one of
Okay.
them.
And he
And
looks
Suan will
and he
go over to
sees her
Lisa.
carrying his shotgun, and he's like, what did I fucking tell you? Don't touch shit. Take the cases and that's it.
Well, it's that time of the hurricane when the dumbasses come out and about, and could have been necessary. Here you go. And she'll hand it over.
Did you take anything else? Did
I
you
took
take
the-
anything else?
I did not.
There is shit in that fucking unit you don't want.
That's why I didn't take it. It's primarily shit in there anyway. Can I go deal with the woman with the gun, perhaps? And you can figure out what you're doing with the suitcases there, and I'll go have a conversation with this one over here.
So you head over and you see that that Lisa, has a gun. She's got her own little corner. Her kid is behind her. The other kid, Castillo, you're pointing it out in the direction. Everyone's kind of freaking out a little bit at this point. Declan, you're hiding in the shadows. You're off to the side.
Mhm.
Luca, Ronnie's trying to tell you that Mark went crazy. And then Suan, you're going towards Lisa. So how do we resolve what's happening here?
I have to believe Mark here or Ronnie, since he was in the room and saw it. And I have to, Lisa, please hand the gun back.
I'm as long as you don't point it at me, I'll stop pointing mine at you.
Of course, no. There needs to be no more death here. It's fine. Ronnie explained it to me.
He's the one who told me it needed to be done.
What?
Ma'am, you did well. There's a situation going on here, and you need to make sure that you and yours.
Why did you guys leave
safe.
me here? What
Well,
was so important?
FBI gentleman said that we needed to gather those suitcases for him because there is quite the situation unfolding here. Not that hurricanes aren't bad enough, but there's quite the situation going on here that needs attended to. But you did. Thank you kindly.
We'll do it. It was banging on the windows. It was trying to get in.
I'll check to see if Mark or the suspect are still alive.
Mark is still alive because he didn't actually get reduced below 0. The suspect, however,
Okay.
I'm going to say he is very much dead as he took a relatively point-blank medium pistol gunshot to his chest. And he was already not good to begin with, as that was a pretty hard fall. So you have a dead suspect in your custody with a shot in the chest and a terrible wound on his head that you're going to have to somehow explain to your DEA superiors, Agent Luca.
If Sam was here, this wouldn't have gone this way. I'll go up to Paul. Where's Ronnie, I mean? All right, we got
Okay,
the cases. What do we do?
You know anything about explosives?
Seen a few here and there.
Good. And he starts unpacking them, and you can see And I'm not going to get into the specifics of it because Jeff doesn't know it. And no one on this damn screen knows. So we don't have to get into the specifics. And he just starts unpacking various, what looks like improvised devices. Like you don't necessarily see anything like too fancy. But it's certainly, but you can recognize materials here and there. Like you recognize some things, I would say. But he starts unpacking like all these different devices because you flip open the suitcase and it's got that classic kind of cutout, like the insert cutout, and he's kind of pulling this out. And we see a montage of him just sort of walking like you and Sue and whoever else wants to be part of the conversation through where to place these, how this works, how far away we should be before it happens, that type of thing. You're gonna have to put one real close to her. Real close. Like you gotta get one in the cafeteria. The rest of this school's gotta go down too. We can't be sure that them little fucking snakes of hers didn't kind of scamper out down the halls. We gotta take the whole damn thing down.
Library too.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, we've got people in here.
Publix.
Yeah.
Make like Moses and get these fuckers out of here.
Well, where do you want us to go?
I don't give a shit, but you were never here.
Yeah, that's true. Lisa's gonna start herding them out in whatever's nearest, whether it's a Publix or something. Maybe that's where we go. If there's a nearby Publix. Yeah. I've got a key so we can get in and we'll be safe in the cooler.
I think the closest Publix would actually be the one that my family shopped at for like 25 years. That has to be the closest one. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's like the closest safe building to go to, but that's where,
The
So you're
hurricane
gonna
is
try to
raging
hustle.
again, right?
It's close. There is a timer.
Almost.
Yeah,
but we made it back
that's not-
before it started up again.
You made it back before it started up again.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lisa is going to take the kids, is going to take Castillo, is going to take Brian, the paramedic.
Yeah.
And I think that was it, right? Unless, do you want to do something with Mark?
Or Declan
No.
wants to
Well, Declan, I didn't even know it was there because he was doing such a good job of blending into the bookcase.
Declan doesn't want to use explosives. I don't think that's quite his style.
Do you want to go? Are you going to go with Lisa?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to the safest place.
Okay. So you and your group, you leave and you hustle and you are following Lisa, and she's saying that she knows how to get into Publix. It'll be safe. Everything will be fine in there. It'll be okay. Okay. All right. Before you leave, though, you hear Ronnie call you out. Are you a New York Times acclaimed author? Is that what we called you?
Yeah, renowned author and historian.
Hey, New York Times.
Have you read my book?
You look familiar.
What can I do for you?
Come here. Nice and close.
I take just like a couple steps, but I don't want to get too close.
Okay. And you have the stuff hidden underneath your... Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you two things. One, some of the stuff you write about are not far off. Number two, you write about this, and the next time you see me, you're not going to like it. You're going to remember this time as a vacation. Do not write about what happened here. Do you understand?
I would just as soon forget this night if I can.
Good.
Do you need help? Are you trying
Well, I'll
to
be
walk out of
fine.
here?
Oh, I got business to attend to. Responsibilities. You take your little dog and get out of here.
If you insist.
And you see his eyes break away from your face. And you see they move down and they see the bulge in your jacket.
I quickly turn.
And I'll say you maybe hear as you're walking away, he's like, "Oh, you'll be seeing me."
I would pause for a moment and then just keep walking.
Okay. So what are we doing with Mark? DEA
this is
agent Luca?
completely screwed up, but I'm thinking we strap one of the explosives to the dead suspect.
Okay.
That I'm hoping
Oh.
to like use as body as a bait.
Like
and then,
feed it?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
And also cover the fact that you had someone in your custody that was shot.
Okay.
And then for Mark, I'm hoping he can get to the grocery as well. If Declan or Lisa can take him.
Lisa isn't taking him.
I'll go back for him then when we're done setting up.
Got a dog.
I couldn't possibly take anything else.
Okay.
Like, as far as Lisa's concerned, she really truly thinks she killed him. So I don't think she would
Yeah,
have
that makes
brought him
sense.
along.
Then when I'm done setting up, I'll go back for him.
Okay. So you're going to leave him here in the library with Ronnie?
Yeah, seems pretty safe.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Hey, DOK, what's going on? Oh, yeah, we're pretty late, aren't we? What's up, Chuck? Okay. I killed Ashley tonight. Not Ashley. That'd be weird because she's here. But I
But,
killed
like,
her character.
First, like, what was it? 5 minutes?
5 minutes. I told
Out
you
the
you were
gate.
in.
Very
rough.
first scene.
I was aware.
I warned you. I really did. It's not how I thought it was going to happen. I thought I was going to be able to suck your brains out, but nope, didn't happen. Okay, so you're going to leave these two injured people in the library by themselves. And then Sue and Luca, you're going to go about placing these explosives. Is that correct? All right, so we'll say we don't need to get into the planning of it all. We can say montage, it happened. You talked about where to place certain things across, where to place them in the elementary school to make it look like this place went up for whatever reason. And so you start kind of going out. What I will want, though, is I will want some stealth tests from the two of you to try to move about this place without detection, is what I think we're going to go with.
Suan's going to take some audience tests for that to at least get a 50-50 shot with stealth.
Okay.
I have a 10
That
in
sounds
stealth.
good.
Failed with 34.
Okay. How did you do, Sue?
Sorry, I was muted. That's a fail. 62 over 50.
Okay. God, are you freaking kidding me? So I rolled my test to see if any of the things that are in this school picked up on you guys, because it was going to be a contested test, and I rolled a 90-freaking-9.
Oh,
which, as you all
wow.
would know,
That's
is
a critical fail.
I have the picture. I'll show it to you later. Okay. So you guys are having to in this. So we're seeing like this sneaky, careful movement around the entirety of this school. You are going into certain classrooms. You're going into like gymnasium area. You're finding places to set these things, these kind of structural points where you think this is going to collapse this is going to collapse that. More than once, the two of you hear, and you like hear the sounds of something slushing around in the water, and you look down a hallway, and you would see that there's like one of those figures, just like you saw when the very first woman who fought you in the middle of the hallway, Suan. Same type of thing. You see a few of them here and there, kind of moving around. You hear the splashing of water, and you can see this like those like kind of slithering little tentacle larva stuff that are kind of moving about. But they don't actually detect you as you move about the majority of the school and you're placing some of these explosives. However, we're gonna zoom in on this other, like I didn't want to like zoom in on that. I want to zoom in on the cafeteria. Your plan was to strap some of the explosives to the body of Paul Romero, your drug suspect, and somehow feed that to the creature that was in the cafeteria. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are both of you going to be part of this?
Yeah, I would say for, whatever support defense might be needed.
There are two ways into the cafeteria that you know of. One is through the main entrance. One is through the loading dock. Is there a preference in terms of the route you go?
One with easier access and less flooding, if that's the thing.
I mean, everything's kind of flooded at this point, but the loading dock would mean you go outside, whereas like going through the main entrance would mean you're going through the inside, the hallways and such.
Given that the storm's about to kick back up, Sue-Ann's recommendation might be the interior, but the loading dock is going to be, I think, a shorter route from loading dock to where we last saw her.
And we're blowing the place up, so I'm not going to be inside in case we have to.
Okay.
Loading dock?
Okay.
All right.
You push the back door open. It is incredibly dark inside the cafeteria and inside the kitchen specifically, which is where you first go in. As dark as can be. Do you have your flashlight out?
I always had it on in case it does.
Do you have it on?
Yeah, if it's on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on.
Okay. So you open up the door. Your flashlight cascades through the kitchen, bounces off of some of these stainless steel surfaces, reflects off that black water that is now again about shin to knee high or so, cascades around. You both hear a as you start dragging the body of Paul Romero into the kitchen. It's not hard to do. It's in water. You can almost kind of almost float him in to some degree. When your light casts around, it goes through a portion of the connection between the kitchen and the cafeteria itself. And you see the light for a moment just wash over this massive, bloated woman. You can't even see her entirety. You can see through this large windowed slot between the two rooms. You can see the tentacles. You can see that that hanging from them, where they're just sort of moving about, almost like in the wind, like a hair might blow around in the wind. And there are these bodies. You see their heads are just imploded. Like all of them are just flat, or they're drained. Some of them you can see are just leaking fluids down the side. And you can see that there's like a pile of other bodies that have been stacked up in the cafeteria, and one by one, some are being pulled right up next to the body of this giant bloated woman, and this slit opens up where a maw just and just begins to just inhale, slurp the brain fluid coming out of these bodies. So you have already seen this, so I'm not going to require you to roll a sand test. Luca, however, I am definitely going to require, as you now see.
Oh, this is not good. Okay. Ooh, a 3. Passed.
Wow.
I just started retching to the side.
You will take a D8's worth of sanity loss. 7 points of sanity loss. Oh.
Okay, I want to try to press this onto a bond.
Okay, so roll a D4.
Oh, it's only a 1.
Okay. Burn 1 willpower. And you suffer, and you are suffering. Like, as you see this horrible thing happening. Maybe it's because one of the bodies that is being dragged, and now the maw is just inhaling, slurping out the brains. You see your partner, your friend, person you've worked with for some time. You see Sam. She's, maybe dead, who knows? But you just watch as her head just caves in. You see the eyes just kind of fall out limply. And you just hear that. And all color just drains from the face that is just looking at you as your flashlight hovers. And that's when Sue, with your high alertness and not having to roll a sanity test, notice one of those tentacles is starting to creep up and through the window between kitchen and cafeteria in the direction of you all. Let's resolve Luca's temporary insanity first. So before we dive
going
any
full
further.
insanity because 6 points of insanity breaks my threshold
Okay.
at 32.
Oh man.
Oh no.
That's right. Luca's the only one with low sanity.
Yeah.
Okay. So a couple things are going to happen. So you hit your breaking point. So you're going to take, first of all, you're going to end up taking a disorder for this. So that's one thing that's going to happen. So we'll sort out specifically what that's going to be, but you're effectively going to take that for this particular moment. Then you're also going to suffer from temporary insanity. So the disorder is kind of a long-term thing, assuming you survive. We can worry about that. But let's figure this out. Do you think Luca would be more of a fleer or someone who just stands in shock at seeing this massive, horrific creature draining your friend?
It's definitely Fleer. After seeing the sight, he just vomits to the side, drops his flashlight, and just books it. Can't take it anymore.
Drops to the ground. And you run, I'm assuming you just run back outside and you just start running. What's your con?
Con is 13.
Okay. Which leaves Sue-Ann in the kitchen with the body still in hand. And this tentacle comes lashing out. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to roll a quick attack on you, Melissa.
Okay.
I'm going to say it's one tentacle, so I'm going to only give her one of the actions that she would normally have. Because normally she gets to take two things, and I'm going to give her the one attack with one of her tentacles. It's an 85%. I need a roll to hit with this. 67 is a hit. Do you fight? Do you want to fight back, or do you want to try to dodge or anything?
I would like to try to dodge. I'm not
Okay.
looking so great.
Okay. Go ahead and roll dodge. And there's a lot of, I would say, because there's a lot of like countertops and things in here, and it's already kind of slithering through the window, that it's going to be a little bit harder for it to get to you. So you can kind of dodge behind cover a little bit more easily. So I would give you a plus 20 to your dodge, because there are things to dodge behind. And you're not panicking the way that, unfortunately, Megan did earlier in the session.
That is a 23 success.
Okay, 23 under.
I took 10 and you gave me 20, so it was under 60.
Okay. So as this thing lashes out, 67 is still going to be higher, though. I think it's still going to end up hitting you, if I recall correctly. Because it's remember we do the whole blackjack thing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So 67 under 85 is, I think, a better roll than 20 something under whatever your target was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Me and my 7 HP are concerned right now.
Just reading dodge really quick, just to make sure, because this could kill you.
Oh, I'm aware. I am aware.
It is at least 3d6s At least.
And Luca ran away. So Sue-Ann's all alone.
Okay, so so it says
What are we looking up?
the attack is
Damage.
coming, physically able to block or evade it if your agent is pinned with the attack. I'm just trying to figure out like the cover thing because I do feel like it's harder to hit you. It still hits. All right, I'm gonna roll it.
Uh-huh.
Sorry,
Oh, no, that's fine.
Lisa left. She went.
That's the most recent thing that happened here. Not that Luca left and isn't seeing this happen to me.
I have good news and bad news for you. I did not roll a lot of damage, but you're still pretty screwed. As I did roll 6 points of damage, as I rolled a 1, and a 4, which total is 6 points of damage, which puts you at 1 HP, which means you are unconscious. As Long did look it up. Thank you, Long. When you hit 2 HP, you are unconscious, and if you ever, you're actually as you dive behind one of these, we'll say countertops, you get smacked and it falls down. The other bad news is that you are floating now unconsciously in the kitchen next to the body that has the explosives that are strapped to it. Luca, you are running and sloshing through the water. You said a 13 con. I don't think you need to roll a full 13 con, like a full 13 turns, but I'll say it isn't until you get out into the playground that you finally kind of sort of like slow and take a moment to look back. And I'll say at this point, you will look and you'll realize Sue's not following you. You don't know what you just saw. She's not there. She's not behind you. She's not in the water. Luca, what do you want to do?
He
Gathering my
barely
breath.
knows Sue-Ann.
On arriving here, like two DEA agents died or are dying. I haven't saved anyone. I've got to at least save somebody. She's been with me since I got here. I'll try and go back for her. She hasn't come out yet.
Wow.
Okay. You are insane. That is an absolutely thing. That is totally a thing that an insane person would do. Okay. What's your strategy for going back in? You have no lights anymore because you dropped your flashlight.
If I see her if I can see her at the entrance, then I'll try and pull her out. If not, she's goner.
Melissa, roll a luck test.
Hold on. I gotta find luck. Where's my luck? Where's my luck?
Officer Joe. Officer Joe's in the pile in the cafeteria. Poor Carl.
We don't know
Winslow.
for sure, do we?
50-50 is a very important 50-50, Sue-Ann. I'm sorry to say.
Okay. I just
It's a
tell you the
luck
number.
test.
Yeah,
It's
just
a
tell
luck
us.
test. 1 to 50 is good. 51 and up is
Can't
bad.
add anything to it.
55.
You rolled another 5 above?
Yes.
That's insane.
Yes.
Okay. Luca, your heart racing, your mind, who knows where. You peek inside. You hear the sounds of the wind starting to kick up. You know you don't have much time. You look back inside, and you can see that Sue-Ann is currently being dragged through the kitchen, tentacle wrapped around her body. And you can see she's sort of being dragged into back into the cafeteria. I would say there's a little bit of light probably because you do have one of those fancy flashlights. So there's probably still a little bit of light in here, but not a ton. You can't probably tell if she's alive or not.
Oh, Mom, come save me. And I'm just going to leave. I'm
Okay.
done. I'm done here.
Okay. Oh man. Melissa's gonna be so mad at me. Okay.
No, we all knew. We all knew.
We all knew.
So this is how we're gonna sum this up. We see sort of this montage, right? Of Luca, you're running back, I assume, to the library.
Yeah, to see if Ronnie and Mark are still there.
Go back there. You see Ronnie's there. You see Mark is there. Mark is still unconscious. Ronnie looks up. Where's Navy?
Couldn't make it.
That's a pity. All right. Let's
Let's
go.
set.
We see as the three of you kind of get up, you start limping away. You maybe sling Mark over your shoulder as best you can. And Ronnie's leg is still not working. And so he is kind of, his leg is just dragging behind him as you guys are sloshing through the water. You're pushing through this playground at this point. We cut for a moment and we see like Megan and Declan hustling through, like, as the wind is starting to kick up. The eye wall is right on your tail. We see you cutting through backyards, going just like we did when we were traveling towards the towards that what's it called, storage facility. We see you like cross like 5 lanes of traffic at one point, even though there's no traffic on it, as you're on US 1. You're just kind of crossing over. We see like the green unlit letters of Publix, the grocery store, off in the distance. And we see that little mass sort of sliding in as a crack of lightning comes down. The wind kicks up. We cut again and we see more of Luca, and we see Ronnie, and we see Mark, the worst DA agent ever, moving away. And then we see behind you guys this massive series of explosions as the elementary school just goes up in a blaze. We cut a little bit, maybe a day later, like we see like a morning show for like a, for a South Florida local morning show. We see like a woman, she's in a, some sort of, blazer, heavy shoulder pads, blonde hair, sitting next to a man who looks entirely forgettable with sort of like salt gray hair. The two of them are going over the news, and you just hear an awful news. It's apparently at a Lantana, Hypoluxo, Rolling Green Elementary, some sort of terrible catastrophe happened. As these days, everyone around the neighborhood is worrying about branches and trees in their backyard, someone's barbecue going through their window. You don't really worry about your elementary school exploding, but that is exactly what happened in Lantana. And we're going to have all the news in just a moment. Just after this break, we're going to go out to our field reporter, and we're going to learn everything we possibly can. And we just kind of fade out from that. And that is, I think, where we're going to end this opening little prologue.
Awesome.
Oh, man.
Sorry. I thought Sue was going to make it. I didn't realize you were. That's right.
It was so close.
It was so close. So
Yeah,
close.
I was
I
already
literally rolled
down
611. That's 411. I was like, oh man, information.
One away.
Sorry. Oh boy.
No need to apologize.
That's a 50% kill rate. I feel pretty good about that.
It was ladies' night, apparently.
Sorry. I like
How
Susan, too.
sexist, Jeff. My goodness.
That's what they say about me, right? That's what I think. That's my
Those
reputation.
dice rolls. So Declan played it safe, lived to the end. Luca,
If there was
little bit
another
of both.
person there, maybe Sue Ann would have lived.
Or maybe Declan would have died too.
Or in her place.
Well, that would have been bad. No offense,
Yeah.
Melissa.
So basically, this is the origin story of Agent Luca Dante. That's what I think it is. Of course, you
Yeah.
have so little
Nice.
sanity, so I don't think you're going to be with us for very
Oh
long.
God.
Declan is very excited to dig into those files and start his next book.
Well, the good news is that Sue Ann, her mother. Oh, nope, she didn't. Never mind. That didn't happen.
No.
The good
They're
news is that.
together.
Yeah. Oh, at least Megan's friend Brian, the paramedic, survived. So there's
That's
that.
true. Yeah.
Okay.
Lisa
There's
survived.
that.
Until
And
Delta
her
Green gets
kid.
to him, and we just hear a series of accidents just to quiet everybody up.
And
Okay.
Merlin made it too.
Exactly. Merlin is alive. Lisa made it out.
Yeah.
Lisa rose to the occasion.
Grocery store woman.
That's my next character, Josh. It wasn't planned.
I had the thought of like Lisa could also be a nurse. It's not like there's only one nurse in Florida.
Sure.
But there was even more fun with the like, you have something you need to do because this is a really scary situation right now.
Yeah. Does Delta Green have childcare?
Delta Green. No, they don't. Okay, so here's the plan for Delta Green. So in 2 weeks, so normally we're playing Delta Green every other week. We will not be here in 2 weeks as apparently 4 of us are going to Gen Con. Ashley is not, unfortunately, but the rest of us apparently are going to Gen Con, so we will not be here in 2 weeks to be able to run this game. But we are going to come back in August with more Delta Green. As this is honestly just the prologue of a much longer campaign. We're going to see the return of Luca. We're going to see the return of Declan. We're going to see what else Melissa gets to cook up. We're going to see whatever Ashley cooks up. And we also have Derek is hopefully going to be rejoining us. And he's already made his character. And his character is something. That is the best way to sum up his character idea.
It's a Derek
something.
Character.
It's
Very much
fascinating. So. It's absolutely fascinating. I'm looking forward to it. So we have a whole I have a campaign plan. I have a series of scenarios and things like that. That it's going to be a little bit more piecemeal. So you saw the prologue. You saw Luca's and Declan's exposure, and that's how it's going to be. And so they'll be all returning people, and then we'll have some others kind of pop in as well. Next game we have is tomorrow. Is we're going to be doing some One Ring, doing some second edition. Everyone on the screen here is going to be in that. Monday, we're going to be back to Horror on the Orient Express. So if you like this kind of game, but you prefer it in 1923 while riding a fancy train, then come watch that on Monday. It's sort of that kind of game. Melissa and Steven, myself, we're all in it. Tuesday, Steven, what we got going on?
We're playing Forbidden Lands, and I believe the pack will be feasting on an otter's corpse. So come tune in and join that.
To be fair, I didn't want to eat him. I just wanted to hurt him until he died.
Aaron will eat him. That's
the
given.
difference. Yeah. I don't need to eat him. I just want him to not be living any longer. So that's the plan. Yeah, we're going to kill Otterman. Otter McOtterman or whatever. And then next Thursday, we're going to be doing some Die, the role-playing game as well. So go ahead. We played our second session last night. It's up on YouTube. It's up on the main podcast feed, all that kind of stuff. So if you don't follow the channel, if you're not following the Twitch channel, please do so. We very much appreciate that. It's very, very kind if you do, because it's how I judge whether I've been successful in life. And then also, if you would be so inclined, go over to YouTube, Ventures and Lollygagging, follow us there, subscribe to the channel, that kind of thing. And that's great. So we're going to go ahead and raid someone now. Pay it forward as we got a couple great raids tonight. What do we want to do? Let's see. We could do a little Dork Tales maybe? Yeah, let's do I haven't raided Dork Tales around. Let's do some Dork Tales. Okay, so there you go. Follow raid. Catch y'all later. Thanks for hanging out. Bye-bye.
Night.
Bye.